on 92 to 95 FM and BBC Radio Scotland on BBC Sounds. And both are live online at bbc.co.uk/Sport Scotland.
Oh, what a goal!
All the action.
What a moment!
From all the biggest games.
This is Sport Sound.
Oh, it's a goal!
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Another goal!
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. There has been an early kick-off in League Two. Half-time score, Elgin City 0, Dumbarton 1. Tony Wallace with that goal in first half stoppage time. So we've been round the grounds in the top flight games, some big games in the Championship this afternoon. Queen's Park are at home to Ayr United. Let's get the build up to that one with Chick Young.
Well, the talk is the new manager of Ayr United, Scott Brown, of course. His first serious match in charge. He was around the club in midweek, but he's come out to the technical care. And Callum Davison taking a bow. He's been an interesting switch. He's moved the Queen's Park technical area back towards the Mount Florida end of the ground. Innovation today for Jack Thompson of Queen's Park, who completes 100 matches for the club. But all eyes, of course, on Ayr United and Scott Brown. I have to say, Kenny, Ayr United have come out like quite the most minging strip I've ever seen.
Describe it.
Minging is the bastard of choice. It's reddish, but it looks washed out. I think there's a faint hoop or something in there. It's just absolutely dreadful. Queen's Park, the traditional black and white hoops, of course. We are underway at the National Stadium. And who would have thought, Kenny, a few months ago, if I told you, go to Queen's Park versus Ayr United, and it would be Callum Davison and Scott Brown in technical areas.
Yeah, football changes very quickly indeed. So Chick will bring us all the news from that when the league leaders Dundee United are at home to Dunfermline this afternoon. There for us, Kenny Crawford.
Yeah, Kenny, just waiting on the teams to come out here at Tannadice. It should be a really good game, this one. A lot of eyes will be watching David Wotherspoon, the former St Johnstone, former Inverness Cally Thistle midfielder, who is making his debut. He's wearing the number 10 for the Tangerines today. A real boost for Jim Goodwin and his side, having his attacking qualities in there. 4 goals in 11 appearances for Duncan Ferguson's Cally Thistle.
Oh!
Yes!
1-0 to Celtic.
My goodness.
It's a massive deflection from the edge of the box. A strike from Alistair Johnson. It was good play initially down the left-hand side. Bernabei got in behind the defence. He played the ball across. It took a bit of a knock on the way to the back post where Leila Bada had a strike. That got deflected back out to the edge of the box, and Alistair Johnson was on hand to get a strike away, which took a massive deflection and spun into the bottom corner. No chance for the goalkeeper to be able to stop it. 1-0 Celtic.
I was following that, Michael, as you were talking us through it, and I'm seeing one deflection, another deflection. I'm thinking, when is the ball going to end up in the back of the net? Calamity. Is that inside the first minute?
Possibly.
Got to be, yeah.
Oh, they're checking a possible offside. Here we go.
Yeah, it
looked quite tight, didn't it?
He went. The ball hit the back of the net before the other games had kicked off.
Yeah, I think the offside comes for the initial pass from Bernabei as he kind of plays it across the box. Yeah, really tight.
Well, my goodness, Ross County will be praying that this one is chopped off, so it could be a very, very long afternoon for them. We're just waiting. We can see that going up the picture from inside the stadium. Checking goal, possible offside. We shall get the update on that.
Thinking on this.
I mean, we're just seeing it here, Mike. We're just seeing it here, Michael. My goodness, it's
really tight. I think he looks on, though, if I'm being honest. It is going to be tight. No doubt about it.
We've spoken a lot about VAR, and offsides are obviously the one that we think and feel should be definitive, but I saw a clip from I can't remember who it was last night. It was down in England. Was it Tottenham and Man City?
Yeah.
And it ends up there was an offside, I think, in that game that was given, and I think it was the guy's big toe that was offside. You really get to the stage where I think, is that what we want? Yeah. It's a goal, by the way. Goal's been given.
Yeah, so Alistair Johnson has been down as him. It may go down as an own goal. It probably wasn't targeted. So Celtic 1, Ross County 0. Alistair Johnson in the first minute there. So our first goal of the 3 o'clock kickoffs on
You're lapping this up, Kenny, aren't you? You're lapping it up. You can't wait. You cannot wait.
What am I thinking? Come on.
You know exactly what I mean, because you came out with it before the game's even started. It was a boring pre-match interview, but tune in because the post-match is normally better.
Well, listen, he has been great value tell you, whether you agree with some of what he says, all of what he says, or none of what he says, Derek Adams...
I'm not sure he's been great value for Ross County, that's for sure.
No, well, there's a lot of stories, here and there this week. We shall see what happens. We've got a Ross County fan, actually, Michael, joining us later in the programme because he was saying that he wanted Derek Adams in the job. We'll see if he's changed his mind on that. Stephen Craigan, you've got a talking point there.
Yeah, I do indeed, Kenny. There's an issue with the screen and VAR that there's no pictures coming through. So Grant Irvin has spoke to both managers. There's a delay. The players have brought extra balls onto the pitch to try and keep themselves warm. So not the ideal start here. The atmosphere, I have to say, is building brilliantly, waiting for a big game. However, we are yet to kick off.
And just get on with the game. Lucky them. Get on with the game.
Session yesterday in Belgium, with Genk winning their appeal to get the game replayed after a poor VAR decision. When does that happen in Scotland, and how do every club go about it?
Is anyone actually in favour of that? Anyone? Game's been replayed.
Who do you think the first club would be to go down that road if a club was to go down that road?
St Johnstone.
with all the money they have.
The aforementioned St Johnstone have scored.
Wow.
And I'm saying it was going to be rubbish here. It's not. 3 minutes on the clock. Ryan McGowan's bundled it in. It's a ball. It's a free kick on the right hand side. It's played in. It hits a couple of legs and McGowan knocks it in from no more than a yard away. Liam Kelly's off his line. He's not happy. He's gone over to see the official on the far side. He is raging, so you let me know if you see anything there. But he is not happy at all, and in fact he's going to be booked. But it's 1-0 St Johnstone.
I have to say, I thought they were unlucky during the week against Aberdeen. We're just waiting for a replay here, Leanne.
Yeah, I just wonder, there's a player in front of him that is in an offside position, I would say, as the ball gets stabbed into the net. I think his point is, Liam Kelly, that he actually can't see the ball. Whether they will look at it, they'll check every goal, as we know, but that's why he's so frustrated.
Right, we'll get an update now. Let's get back on the Championship grounds, because some big games here. We're hearing from Kenny Crawford at Tannadice. Kenny?
Yeah, we're underway now, a minute and 5 seconds. Dundee United attacking early on. David Witherspoon trying to play a few killer passes. Ross Docherty also back for Dundee United, the captain, really important player for them. And a debut in terms of Dunfermline for Malachi Fagan Walcott. He's a right-sided defender on loan from Cardiff City. James McPake had him at Dundee a couple of seasons ago. So yeah, this one's just underway, really looking forward to it.
Clyde have gone ahead away at Spartans. Jordan Allen with a goal there on 4 minutes. Let's stay in the Championship.
That's just kicked off at Rugby Park, just to let you know we've kicked off.
Thanks, Stephen. So we heard there from Queen's Park, Ayr United, Dundee United, Dunfermline, Raith Rovers. Second place Raith Rovers are at home to Inverness Cali Thistle. Derek Ferguson is there for us. Good afternoon, Derek. You got us, Derek?
Yep, there, Kenny. Sorry.
You got us there now, yeah?
A wee malfunction. Forgot to press my wee button there. I'm too engrossed in the game. 5 minutes gone. Feels as if we've been going for ages. They've lost 3 in the bounce, obviously, Raith Rovers, but just starting to exert a little bit of pressure. Inverness, 8 changes from the side that beat Broomhill, and there are 3 new signings in there. Kerr, Chiloka, Mullen and Savage start for Inverness. So conditions here not great, Kenny. Really blustery win, but hoping these are 2 good footballing sides. Hopefully they can try and get the ball on the deck and give us an entertaining game. I'll keep you updated.
Good stuff.
This is still going on here, Kenny, at McDermott Park. It's still the decision.
It looks pretty clear to me that I think it's Andy Considine is in an offside position standing in front of Liam Kelly. Now, unless the angle that I'm seeing it from is shown me in a different light, certainly, but I don't think it's a decision that should be taken as long. Either way, either he's interfering with play or he's not.
Once again, I will say clear and obvious. If it's clear and obvious, how's it taking so long? You can hear the fans in the background, they're booing, they're raging. And he's booked Liam Kelly, so if this gets overturned, he then has to surely rescind it.
No, just his reaction, he'll still get the...
Goal! 1-0, St Johnstone. Goal's been given.
Alan, the officials talk about clear and obvious, but they don't actually mean clear and obvious anymore. I don't know why they just don't remove it from the laws and the vernacular of the officials, because it's obviously it's not clear and obvious.
Well, obviously not clear and obvious.
The only thing that's obvious, Michael, is that it's not clear and obvious.
And what's obvious with that is that that's yet another subjective thing, and we can go round the houses on that. One person thinks something's clear and obvious. Clearly, others didn't think it's
if you're spending
clear and obvious.
If you're spending 2, 3 and 4 minutes looking at something, then it's not obvious, is it?
It's just ludicrous, to be perfectly honest, why it takes so long for certain things. I mean, I was at a game here last week in the Scottish Cup. There was the goal sorry, it was a penalty kick that was potentially about to be given early on in the game, and you could see quite clearly that it was offside. Yet they took about 5 minutes looking at the penalty kick incident before they went, oh well, actually it's offside anyway. And Brendan Rodgers spoke about it afterwards as well. I know there was a slight tongue-in-cheek comment about it, but it's offside. So it doesn't matter whether there was contact, no contact, or whatever. Blow the whistle, give offside, and get on with the game.
Lan, you having a really close look at the incident?
I am, but it's really difficult, the angle that I'm seeing it. To me, it looks like Andy Constine's offside, but I don't know if the nearest defender's heel is outstretched behind him and has perhaps played him onside, but he's literally standing in the vision of Liam Kelly. Definitely one for Sportscene to look at later on. No doubt the guys will be across it and can debate it and offer a bit of clarity on it as well, hopefully.
Michael, your thoughts on this situation we're seeing in Belgium? A game being replayed because of a bad VAR call? That's a dangerous road to go down, isn't it?
Yeah, very dangerous. Well, I think it just highlights the need for reform with VAR, and it also shows you that clubs are getting a little bit sick and tired of it. But ultimately, it's the clubs that are voting for it to be implemented in the first place, and they're the ones that will decide whether it goes or not. There's an industry that revolves around this now, though, so it's never going to just disappear. It just has to be reformed because it's no working the way it is at this juncture. It needs to be reformed.
Do we have that option in this country?
If you've got deep pockets, I don't know, Willie, but certainly you would imagine that some of the big clubs in England would look very, very closely at this case in Belgium.
Klopp wanted the game replayed, didn't he? Klopp wanted the game replayed.
Yeah.
Because of a VAR decision.
Yeah.
Well, understandable, because it was an absolutely outrageous, decision that, it just highlighted how incredible the situation is, that they knew there was a wrong decision made, but they couldn't reverse it. They couldn't stop the game. It just is mental.
Kenny, the theory was when it came in that the games wouldn't be re-refereed. Unfortunately, they are being re-refereed. I think we're seeing it week after week. That actually it's the VAR official who's refereeing the game and telling the referee, which I think is completely out of order. On-field ref should have the decision. That's what I'm saying.
But Stephen, that's the problem. The most important person now, when you look at the officials, is the VAR man.
Totally.
It's not the referee now. It's
and I think referees on the pitch aren't given decisions waiting for backup.
And the target, Alan, is to have 1 in 3 interventions. What we'll get, 1 in 3 games. What we've got, 3 midweek games we had, 5 interventions. It's just...
Kenny, the standard of officiating, and even although there wasn't VAR last week at Spartans, and the Spartans scored a wonderful goal, but the linesman is literally standing behind Callum Booth, who's offside. He's literally could have touched him, and he still doesn't give it. Now, there's no VAR there to do that, but that just shows you again, he is literally looking through Callum Booth. He can see he's offside, doesn't give it. So I think it's the standard of the officials is poor as well at the moment.
And you look. I mean, we talk about if the referees were professional in Scotland, things would be so much better. It's nonsense. You look down the road, they're having a crisis with VAR and the quality of the refereeing in England. All the money in the world, professional referees, full time, and they're making an absolute mess of it this year. And they're four years further down the road with VAR than we are.
Yeah, it's clearly a big issue. It won't go away. Something needs to improve, no doubt about that. Alan, do you remember one of the highlights from Open All Mics last weekend?
Oh,
Kasim Sheikh is back with us today.
Oh, brilliant. Don't interrupt, Willie, whatever you do.
Good afternoon, Kasim. You've decided to be brave enough to join us again.
I did indeed. I don't think I'm ever going to live that down. I think that's going to stick with me forever now. Good banter. Got plenty of banter after the game last week as well with a few friends. Apart from a very loud drum to the left of me, which sounds like from a young lad playing the drum. I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Yeah, here's a Partick Thistle for you today, Kasim.
Third against fourth place here. 9-point gap between both teams. Partick have gone into the game. They've been scoring goals, but Airdrie have been playing good football as well. Maybe not scoring as many goals, and it looks like that from the start of the game, to be honest. Partick have been pressing. Stephen Lawless is causing a few problems already, and Tommy Adeloy's had the first chance of the game, which has just been hit past the right hand side post. So Partick have started well here, but Partick now, Airdrie now at the moment.
Right, thanks to Kasim Sheikh. All the updates, all the goal news coming on Open All Mics. Let's get to Tynecastle. What a game there this afternoon. Hearts against Aberdeen. What's happening in the early stages, Willie?
Kenny, it's lively. You know, difficult to split the teams. Maybe Aberdeen just slightly more possession, not any real clear-cut chances, lack of action in the penalty box, but plenty of endeavour between the penalty boxes. And it's fast football. It's not a case of, you know, it looks to me as though for once, whenever they get the ball, they're thinking about a forward pass, and that's both sides, which making it a really interesting game. Just a corner coming in there for Hearts, and you know, it looks as though it's an important game. We all know it's an important game, but the players are playing it at a pace that tells me that it is indeed a very, very important game. So, you know, it's good to watch just now. I would like to see a little bit more action inside the penalty boxes, but plenty of endeavour out there.
You are underway at Rugby Park after, I think, a power outage, was it, Stephen?
Yeah, it must have been Kenny. Yeah, something to do with the VAR screen. The referee didn't want to start the game, but I have to say Hibs have been really aggressive in the early stages of this game. There's been a couple of last-ditch tackles from Kilmarnock. Joe Wright's had a block, Stuart Finley's had a last-ditch tackle, and after watching Hibs during the week, I don't think there's any doubt that when they're going forward they're decent to watch. However, when the ball turns over, I just felt the 4-4-2 system during the week, they got exploited. People ran off them. Joe Newell and Dylan Levitt in particular in midfield got overrun, but certainly with Tavares on the left-hand side and Yuhan on the right-hand side, they've caused Kilmarnock a few problems early on. They've settled the best. Kilmarnock will be a little bit frustrated, but still 0-0.
Let's then get to Allenvale. Livingston against Dundee. Rory Watt is there for us. What's happening in the early stages here, Rory?
Well, there hasn't been a lot happening so far. As Jason Holt runs forward there, and with a better pass, could have played. I think it was Bruce Anderson through on goal. There's not been a lot happening, Ken. It's all in the middle of the pitch. It's a bit of a battle. A few free kicks, wide free kicks for Livingston, and a couple of corners. Dundee's Luke McCowan has looked lively, as he always does. But, you know, I covered this game earlier on in the season, as I said, and the first half was turgid. Second half, Dundee came out and played really well, but you know, so far it's went along the lines of the first half previously. It's not great. Andrew Shinney's trying his best in midfield. He's captain today to try and dictate play, but overall there's been a lack of chances and a lack of quality so far.
How on earth, Tom, do Livingston get themselves out of this situation? It's looking really, really grim right now.
I think the answer is that they don't.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I don't want to be glib about it, but I don't see anything from Livingston, and haven't pretty much all season, to suggest that they've got the firepower to get out of this. They don't have the money. The club is in chaos behind the scenes, utter chaos behind the scenes, and the team, it's a poor team, very poor side.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Really struggling adrift at the bottom of the table. St Johnstone with that early advantage at home to Motherwell. Ryan McGowan with a goal there on 3 minutes. Anything at all from Motherwell in the early stages, Alan?
Nah, nothing really, Kenny. Nothing of any note anyway. There was a free kick also for St Johnstone from Carey, 25 yards right down the throat of Kelly. Comfortable save for the keeper. But you'd have thought, you know, St Johnstone played midweek. There'll be a few tired legs out there. Motherwell should have started the game, made sure they don't give a concede early on, and that's the worst possible start for them. But the only good thing is when you concede after 3 minutes, there's still 87 to go to get back in it, and I'm sure Stuart Kettlewell will be hoping so.
Cove Rangers 0, Queen of the South 1. Jack Bryden with that opening goal on 13 minutes. Let's then get to the game between Queen's Park and Ayr United, the first game in charge of United for Scott Brown. How are things looking in the early stages here, Chuck Young?
Well, we've played 16.5 minutes, Ken. It's still Queen's 0, Ayr United 0. Scott Brown, all eyes on him, of course. He's been very much activated within the technical area, of course, the technical area pitch. He knew so well when he played with Scotland here at Hampden, and he's down there right in the very edge of the extended technical area at Hampden, just really having a go at each players. Very active with his arms and throwing and commands at them, and he's still talking to players all over the place. There's been nothing in it actually. Ayr United maybe slightly the better team, getting forward, creating a few passes with one delightful ball played from Logan Chalmers, who's such a talented football player, with Anton Dowds, who put it just over the crossbar with a header. I love watching Chalmers. He's such a lovely player in the middle of the park. I thought he was getting on the ball enough for United, and maybe that's the point that Scott Brown's making right now. Callum Davis, incidentally, is getting a few verbals in there as well. Needs a goal, Kenny. Still 0-0.
Let's get to Tannadice. Dundee United at home to Dunfermline, who's bossing it early on there. Kenny Crawford.
Definitely the home side, Kenny. 76% possession for Dundee United. 13 minutes gone. Craig Sibbles had the best chance. It wasn't massively clear cut. It was a deflected shot saved by Mehmet. But you can tell already that this addition of David Wotherspoon might be the thing that just gets United over the line in terms of sealing the title in this second half of the season. Him along with Docherty and Sibbald in the centre of the park. It just looks so strong, and Wotherspoon so good at just ticking things over and playing those little passes that are intricate and delicate, and just that maybe a lot of other players wouldn't think about. Dunfermline have had one chance. Lewis McCann had a shot turned back on his own face, and he had to go off with a nosebleed after that, but still 0-0 here at Tannadice.
Stranraer, East Fife 1. Nathan Austin with the goal on 17 minutes. Excellent. Let's get to Starts Park. Wraith Rovers at home to Inverness Cally Thistle. What's happening there, Derek Ferguson?
Yeah, two teams trying to get the ball on the deck, Kenny, and play the game in the right manner, but just not enough goal action. Mullen just had an opportunity just moments ago at the angle. Good strike, but the keeper always had it covered, and then there, just moments before he came to me, it was Harper just down that left hand side. Should have found Samuel, but goalkeeper made a good save. It's just strange to see Billy Mackay. He's playing such a deep area, he's playing in the middle of the park, Samuel up top, so I'd like to see Mackay just a little bit further up the park. But good footballing game, but not enough action at the moment.
Any early goalmouth action, Kassim Airdrie against Partick Thistle?
No, just one more chance for Partick, again past the post. Seems to be settling down, although turned into a bit of a physical game in the last 3-4 minutes. There's been a few hefty challenges going in, but still 0-0 here between Partick and Airdrie.
So Celtic had the first goal in the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Alistair Johnson with the opener in the first minute. What's happening now there, Michael? What's happening in that game? Anything at all from County? It's just a barrage of Celtic pressure.
I mean, County have managed to get up the park a couple of times, but they've never really got into the box and offered any threat on the goal. As I speak, they're just doing something similar again. They've kept the ball in Celtic's half. It's not really going anywhere at the moment, but just a minute ago, it was Paulo Bernardo. He put one over the crossbar when he really should have scored. It it came back to him around about the penalty spot. The goal was at his mercy. It was bouncing up a little bit, but as he struck it right over the crossbar, it should have been 2-0 to Celtic. But it's very, very comfortable for the home side here. They're dominating the ball, as you would expect. Ross County just trying to make sure that they're difficult to break down, as you heard Derek Adams talking about before the game. And the game's not really surprising anybody, I would suggest, at this stage.
So Hamilton Accies 1, Montrose 0. Another goal coming in, Kevin O'Hara on 16 minutes. There's a remarkable scoreline in the FA Cup earlier from the lunchtime kickoff. Ipswich Town flying high in the Championship, beaten at home by 2-1 by Maidstone. But the remarkable thing, I don't know if anyone can remember a game like this. The stats: 36 shots for the home side, 2 for the away side.
What a finish!
Yes!
Amadou Bakayoko puts Dundee 1 up. It's a bad mistake, I have to say, at the back for Livingston. I think it's James Penrice, takes a terrible touch, plays it straight to Bakayoko in the box, half foot, left foot, half volley, straight into the bottom corner. Have to say, Dundee haven't done much to deserve the lead, but the lead they have, it's 1-0.
You're right, Rory. Defensively, I think it is Penrice will get another look at it. It goes with his left foot, the outside his left foot. He needs to just go and swing his right foot and clear his area. He just sets into the path of Bakayoko, who does really well and finishes well. That's the thing about Dundee, though. They've got goals on their side, whether they're in the game, dominating the game. They'll always create opportunities. They've managed to do it all season.
They scored double the goals that Livingston have scored this season, which tells you the story of Livingston this season.
Can I raise a talking point about Dundee?
Yes.
They have currently 10 players on loan in their squad. 7 of them are in the Matchday squad today. 4 of them from Burnley. Is this okay?
There strikes the number cruncher. The cruncher.
seven loan players in their squad today. I mean, is there...
Well, the rules clearly allow it, Tom.
Yeah. They do.
What a save!
Yes, Alan.
Theo Bell never get a better chance to score against St Johnstone. It's a brilliant ball in from Gent on the left-hand side. And Bear connects with it brilliantly. It's point blank save by Mitov. He's celebrating as if he scored the goal. What a save that is.
The goalkeeper's in the right place at the right time, isn't he, Alan?
Makes
Does
himself
really
big.
well. Brilliant run, just everything that you want for your striker right across the face of goal. Good connection, straight off the keeper.
Anyone get any issue with what Tom was bringing up there?
I do understand Tom's point. It is a lot. However, the beauty of the loan market is that you can maybe attract players with slightly more quality and a little bit more, creative edge than maybe signing somebody on, I don't know, £800 a week or whatever it is from the lower leagues in England or whatever it may be. You get a player of a higher quality, you're paying a percentage of their wage, so you're getting somebody in the door who's maybe a bit younger and more inexperienced, but what you do get is a product on the pitch which potentially brings more quality. And that's been proven over the course of the season. Whether it's sustainable, Tom, it's a good question.
Tom, the issue I have is you're bringing in 17, 18, 19-year-olds on loan. Why not look at your academy? There's no point in having an academy.
Yeah, this is really the wider point. So there's 7 players on loan today, 10 in total. What does that say about Dundee?
You've got Luke McCowan starting. You've got Luke McCowan starting. You've got Finlay Robertson on the bench. You've got Josh Mulligan on the bench. You've got Lyle Cameron, who scored at Tynecastle during the week. He's on the bench. I don't think Dundee are struggling particularly in the bringing through the talent department, I have to be honest.
Well, why all these loan players then? If they've got all these homegrown players, why are they relying on this loan market to such an extent? Particularly Burnley. I don't know they're tired with Burnley now.
Is it finances, Tom? Do you think it's finances? You can get a certain quality. I think Rory touched on it there. You get a certain quality of player at a lesser cost.
Penalty. Penalty to the home side. There's a bit of pushing and shoving. It's Cal McGregor that's been brought down. It was a really nice bit of play from Celtic down the left-hand side. Cal McGregor just made a run on the inside channel into the box. The ball got slipped into him. He took a touch. I can't tell you who it is that's brought him down.
Simon Murray.
Is it Simon Murray?
He's been absolutely tonto.
There was just so many players that were there in front of me, but you guys will be able to see from a better angle. But it did look to me as if it was a penalty. It just looked like Cal McGregor had got the touch initially and enticed the challenge from Simon Murray. But yep, he's clearly not happy with it. At the moment, it is a penalty that has been awarded. We'll wait and see if anything changes.
I think that's the correct call.
It looks a penalty to me. It does look as if he's connected with the right boot of Callum McGregor. Callum McGregor just gives the kind of slightest feint. Simon Murray's just overly keen to defend it. He's not really going anywhere. And I don't get the reaction either.
It was really strong,
unless
wasn't it?
we're getting it totally wrong, and another angle, will show it in a different light, but it looks like it's a penalty, no question.
The two of them are having a wee confab now on the edge of the box. They look best mates now, so it's all resolved.
Right.
Luis Palma's about to step up to take it, and he's missed. It was a terrible penalty. A really, really, really bad penalty. It's one of those ones.
Got a goal!
Yep,
it's a goal for Wraith. Took an eternity again. It was in a swinging corner. Mullen, and it's Hamilton who gets up. Not the cleanest of headers, bounces off the deck, then into the back of the net. It was like slow motion there. They didn't react to it ever so well. So, yeah, Wraith going to the lead there. Big Duncan, he's absolutely freezing. I've got a heater, I've got layers on. Big Duncan Ferguson standing down there just with I don't know, it's a wee skimpy top on. What's happening with the big fella?
Oh! What a goal from Bojan Majowski, left foot, edge of the box, inside the box, tight angle, looks up and he curls it into the far corner. Quite magnificent strike from the Aberdeen striker.
His celebration, he's just the facial expression. You need to tune into Sports Scene later. I won't try and describe it, but what an unbelievable finish. Very calm.
Who's the top man now?
Certainly no Duke anyway.
Mikey, what's going on at Celtic Park?
I've no idea. The game stopped, so your guess is as good as mine.
Is it off the back
goalkeeper off the line?
Oh, it's an infringement for the Ross. It'll be a retake.
Right, but here there's nothing up on the screens. There's nothing.
Nothing up. So nobody at that ground knows what's going on.
Yeah.
No.
Is the balls?
That's a big issue.
That's terrible.
If Palma hits the penalty, there's 3 Ross County players inside.
Well, he's very, very fortunate because it was a terrible penalty.
Yeah.
George Wickens has got down, but I wouldn't have even said that it was a great save. It was all right. The way he went up to take the penalty, he was stuttering away, trying to get the goalie to move, very slow. And now eventually we see that it's a retake in the penalty kick. It'll be interesting to see who takes it this time.
You're
Looks
right,
like,
Michael. It was a shocking penalty. It really was.
Oh, he's got a second chance here. I wonder if he'll use the same technique.
They're checking this, by the way.
Oh no, Willie!
Unbelievable!
Oh,
unbelievable! They're checking it for a potential foul.
Does that mean that Majowski's not the top man anymore if it gets disallowed?
In my book, he's still the top man, I'm afraid to say.
What are they checking then, Willie?
Right, we're trying to see it here.
I've not got a clue. Majowski's maybe tripped. Is it Beningame?
I think you're right, Willie.
Is it Kevin Clancy's the referee there? He's
Palmer, and he's missed again. By the way, an absolutely terrible penalty again. Almost identical.
There's a way to look at
bad.
it.
We're going to
Just getting a look at it.
Kevin Clancy's a way to look at it. He's been
Tell me there was more in
It's
it than the
actually
one
the
at McDiarmid
same
Park during the
penalty.
week.
It's exactly the same penalty.
No conviction.
It's
The only
incredible.
thing that was better was he didn't stutter in his stepping up to take it. But there was no conviction in that penalty kick at all.
Nah, they're both dreadful. We've seen replays here now, Michael.
Tell me
the
there's
pictures.
more on the one at Tynecastle than there was during the week at McDiarmid Park.
That's no deliberate. Sorry, you seen a replay of this incident?
Willie's game.
I'm going to get a better look at it now.
Here we are now.
It's very, very far away.
Seriously, you know, Majowski goes behind.
deliberate.
Majowski. Biscuit, shut up, right?
I've not seen it yet.
Majowski goes behind Beningame, and it's purely accidental.
It's totally accidental.
There is contact, but that in no way is a foul. It can't possibly be. And the referee's looking at it and looking at it. He's been asked to go over. What is he going to give?
It's going to be a tragedy, Willie, if it's disallowed.
That's unbelievable. I'm sorry. And it's no because Majowski has scored. It's no because it's pure magnificent striking as well that goes into the top corner.
Goal disallowed.
Goal disallowed.
My goodness.
Again, it's like getting things wrong. It's shocking.
But Willie's got a good point here. I mean, whether you can, argue that it's a foul or not, we're getting to the stage where I've not seen the goal, but Willie's obviously extremely excited about it. It's a great goal. We're disallowing moments of quality for
Graham Kenny was the same, Michael, during the week.
This could have big implications for Barry Robson.
And if you want to find an infringement and a build-up to any play, you'll find something.
Yeah.
A little nudge.
Totally.
This is what's killing our game.
Oh, dearie me, that's just taken. I was up there on the roof.
Well, you better watch. I know where you
on
sit
the
there.
ceiling, guys.
I know where you sit there. They'll be round about you any minute.
Willie, is it something that the referee has possibly looked at during the game and said, no, I'm happy with that?
I think it
Because he
could
must have
possibly
seen,
be.
which is the point of being the game's now being re-refereed.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's happened.
And he's been
So
invited.
what is it? Is he just cut across him or something, Willie?
Beningame's running back. It's out on the right-hand side, Alan, and Majowski's part of the build-up, and he's making a diagonal run, and Beningame gets in front.
Rugby Park! And believe it or not, it's Dylan Vente that scored it, but unfortunately it's in the wrong net.
Goal here as well at McDiarmid.
Right, Alan.
And it's unbelievable. It's that man again, Theo Bear, back at St Johnstone, and he couldn't hit a barn door. Great ball in, and it's a flick header in off the post. We have an equaliser here in 29 minutes, 1-1.
Stephen Cregan.
Alan, I'm quite happy to sit back and listen to you describe Theo Bear's goal. In swinging cross from Daniel Armstrong. He jumps up, there's a few defenders jump up, there's a few attackers jump up, and I think it's Dylan Vente, it bounces off his head and just drops into the far corner. Up to this point, Hibs have been the better team. They've looked the most likely to get the goal, but we know Kilmarnock here at Rugby Park, they're resilient, they know how to win, they know how to play in front of these fans, and they lead by 0-0.
Right, goals going in. Alan 0, Falkirk 1.
Samuel is in, and he's finished. Great finish, but I tell you what, they played a high line there. Wraith Rovers and Samuel just scampering away, and he just gets inside the box, puts his spot into the back of net, one apiece.
Goals flying in. Alloa 0, Falkirk 1. Callum Morrison with a goal there. Spartans have equalised at home to Clyde. It's now one apiece. Reece Armstrong on the score sheet there. Annan Athletic 1, Edinburgh City 0. Aidan Smith on 29 minutes. There was another goal come in there. Just Peterhead 1, Stennismuir 0. Hamish Ritchie on the half-hour mark, and confirmation of that goal for Kilmarnock. The only own goal from Dylan Venti on 25 minutes. Kilmarnock 1, Hibs 0. Theo Bair, that goal going on in 29 minutes. St Johnstone 1, Motherwell 1. It's all happening this afternoon. I also saw a red card when Keegan Jacobs both are down to 10 men. Jacobs sent off there in their game away at Morton. Yes,
Kenny, I've got to say, just seen the clip of the incident at Tynecastle, and I think it's extremely harsh because he doesn't know about it. But I think it's the right call. I've got to say, because he stops Benny Beningame from going and closing down the cross. I think it's very, very unfortunate and very harsh, but I do think that's probably the right call.
You know what I was going to say as well, if it was Shanklin at the other end, I would be saying the same thing. I don't think it was in no way is it deliberate. I think we can agree on that one.
Absolutely. There's no intent, because he's got, but Majowski's watching the ball. And him and Beningame just cross each other's path, and it's unfortunate, but I can totally understand why that has been given as a free kick. It's a sore one, because I was just saying before, you want to see moments of quality.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do think that it's probably the right call.
Michael, see when you see it, the referee's looking right at it. He's looking down the line of it. He sees the two players crossing over. Why does the referee on the field not blow for a free kick if he thinks it is?
Maybe he's just waiting for Majowski to score a screamer.
And then go to VAR and rule it out. Crazy.
Giving us something to talk about. That's what he's doing. Fair play to it.
Every single week.
Tom, you don't need anything to talk about. You're fine.
I'm now looking at. You know what? I'm apart from my Dundee talking point, I'm now looking at the number of missed penalties this season. Particularly, I think it was 5 out of 6 or something penalties last weekend in the cup were missed, and now we have a double miss from Celtic.
Shanklin's 3 in a row.
Shanklin's missed 3 in a row. What's going on with the penalty takers in this country?
Not up to it, clearly at the moment. St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. That was a full-time lunchtime kick-off. Celtic 1, Ross County 0, Hearts 0, Aberdeen 0, Kilmarnock 1, Hibs 0, Livingston 0, Dundee 1, and St Johnstone 1, Motherwell 1. In the Championship, Airdrie 0, Partick Thistle 0, Dundee United 0, Dunfermline 0, Morton 0, Arbroath 0, Arbroath down to 10 men, Queen's Park 0, Ayr United 0, and as Derek was telling us, Wraith Rovers 1, Inverness, Cali, Thistle 1. In League 1, Alloa 0, the leaders Falkirk 1, Annan Athletic 1, Edinburgh City 0, Cove Rangers 0, Queen of the South 1, Hamilton Accies 1, Montrose 0, Stirling Albion 0, Kelty Hearts 0, and in League 2 this afternoon, Elgin City 0, Dumbarton 1, Forfar 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 0. Stennismuir just equalised away at Peterhead. That's now 1 apiece. Spartans 1, Clyde 1, Stranraer 0, East Fife 1. Gregor Buchanan with that equaliser for Steny on 34 minutes there, of course, on that terrific run of form.
Kenny should be 2-0, sorry. Yep. It was a free kick in the halfway line. The Hibs players all switch off. Danny Armstrong just goes to the ball, puts his hand on it, chips it over the top. Matty Kennedy runs through. The goalkeeper can't get to the ball, David Marshall. He just toe pokes it past him and it just runs past the post. The game could have been away from Hibs there. I said they were the better team, but they've got a soft centre. I heard Tom talking in the Scottish Football podcast during the week about Hibs defensively. There's a softness about them, and that almost got cut open again.
Kenny.
Yep.
I presume, I know you saw the St Mirren Rangers game today. What did you think of the state of the playing surface?
Well, it was certainly commented on by Philippe Clement, wasn't it?
Yes, I know he did. He had a rant. And I've been quietly seething since I heard his rant.
Right, go for it, Chick.
Well, he said that neither Barcelona nor Real Madrid could play in that surface, and that clearly Rangers struggled to play in it as well. With 1-1-0 and some missed chances. So I'm sorry, that's one of the best playing surfaces in the country, and I have no idea why he saw fit to have a rant.
Even Fir Park looked a little bit rough for some reason last week.
If you noticed the weather recently.
See, when you put the undersoil heating on, it burns the roots in the grass and kills your pitch. That's exactly what happens, and that's what's happened both pitches.
Oh, he's done it! He's got his second, Samuel! Ball just bobbling about, edge of the box. He thinks, why not? On the volley. I tell you what, you wonder the keeper should get there, because it bounces a couple of times, doesn't hit it the cleanest, but it just sneaks in at that right hand post. So, from 1 down, Inverness 2-1 ahead.
Wow, what a turnaround that is. A double from Alex Samuel there after Jack Hamilton had opened the scoring for the home side in 25 minutes. Tom, we were talking about this last weekend, saying they're just gone off the boil now, Wraith Rovers, aren't they? This is an opportunity today for Dundee United to extend their advantage.
Absolutely, you know, and I think today is a big day in the kind of overall narrative of that division. So it's Derek is getting his money's worth today.
He always does. Derek always get good game. Derek, did anyone see the clip?
Derek Adams, by the way.
All right, tell us. We're interested.
The ball went out for a shy to Celtic. He is just behind the dugout. He was waving to the crowd, and the fourth official's having a word with him now, and he's not happy. He's really not happy. So he turned round to the crowd and was saying to them to throw it. They threw it back, and he just stood and watched it go into the park. It was right at him, and he stood and just let it go into the park to obviously try and stop the game. Isn't
it great to have him back? Seriously though, he's brought something, has he not?
And now he's raging. Now he's sitting down at the bench and complaining to everybody. he knew exactly what he was doing.
I'd have loved to have seen him manage you, Michael Stewart. That would have been a contest.
Well, I'll tell you, I bumped into somebody who did get managed off him during the week. Wee Ivan Sprill. He was telling me he got taken off once, and he nipped his ear as he was coming off. And Ivan basically was ready to box his ears in.
Yeah, goal. He's got a goal from you, Kassim.
Sorry, I still can't see the number. It's a major scramble in the box, a bit of a run against play in the Partick box, and Airdrie have taken the lead here, 1-0 to Airdrie against Partick Thistle.
Yeah, they of course had that terrific result.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Kim Pioka, it's a good ball over the top. Kelly comes out, he lifts it over him, but it's just too much on it. Gets to the other side of the keeper but can't catch the ball. St Johnstone had to make a change. Liam Gordon, their captain's gone off. It looks like a knee injury, but they've changed shape as well. Instead of going for 3 at the back, they've gone to a flat 4 and they've brought another striker on. Jessamy's come on to partner Kim Pioka up front.
Ayr United won a penalty here.
Ross County have hit the crossbar for a corner kick. I think it was Nightingale that was round the back. Corner in from Jan Danda, right round the back. They've still got the ball into the box again. He's up in the air. Celtic just clearing the lines.
Yeah, Kenny, they've got Ayr United won a penalty. The referee's given a free kick about 2 inches outside the 18-yard line. It's within the D. They've got a real chance to score here as Jamie Murphy and Logan Chalmers over the free kick. They both fancy it. They've got a wall back in almost the 6-yard line.
Sorry, Chick. There's a check here in Livingston for a penalty. A free kick's been given on the edge of the box, and they just announced it over the tannoy, which is really difficult to understand. So the referee's got his hand to his ear at the moment.
It's a penalty for
Livingston.
Goal! The free kick has been scored.
Yep.
Jamie Murphy was the man who took it. He drove it low. It went beyond the wall and into the goalkeeper's right-hand post of Callum Ferry. Ayr United, Scott Brown's Ayr United have taken the lead in 39 minutes, and it's a free kick just at the edge of the box from Jamie Murphy.
What a start for Scott Brown. We'll be joined by an Ayr United fan later. He's at the game there alongside Chick this afternoon, so we'll get some reaction to Scott Brown's first game of charge.
This is magnificent! Samuel, hat-trick, another volley, absolutely brilliant. I tell you what, it's worked as well. It's a corner kick. Harper, left-hand side, whips it, and he just peels off the 6-yard box, away from the defender, on the volley, into the back of the net. Take a bow, son. Brilliant.
Kenny,
he's still getting looked at, Kenny.
He's scored 4 goals in 2 games since joining Cally Thistle from Ross County.
Rory, it was McCowan on Holt just as Holt was kind of exiting the penalty area. Luke McCowan's kind of shoulder barged him from behind. Difficult to tell.
Assume it's a factual one. It wouldn't need to go to the screen. It'll just be it was inside or outside.
Is there a free kick been given outside the box?
A free kick's been given. They're waiting to take the free kick.
Yeah,
standing over it.
Yeah,
Penalty kick. He's just given the signal for VAR and pointed to the spot. Be interested to see who takes this. Andy Shinney's missed one recently. Bruce Anderson's missed one recently.
I was going to say, off the back of Tom's penalty stats, once upon a time you might have been glad you get the opportunity of a penalty. I'm not sure.
Today's skipper for Livingston, Andrew Shinney, he'll step up. This is a big moment in Livingston's season. You have to say, because they need to take something from today. They're being cut adrift, and the pressure of the penalty will fall on the captain, Andrew Shinney. Harry Sharp in goals, no Trevor Carson.
A huge moment here at Almond Vale.
Yeah, it's big. Harry Sharp did really well actually when he came on for Lexington's at Rugby Park a couple of weeks ago. He made some really good saves. So it'll be interesting to see.
They just need something. They need something.
They do. He's going to step up here. Oh, terrible penalty. He saved it right down the middle. I mean, he just falls down, Harry Sharp. He doesn't even have to dive. And he palms it away. Really poor penalty from Andrew Shinnie, you have to say. And the pressure's got to him there, and it remains 1-0 Dundee.
Days. Tom, do you want to come on?
Tom, on you go. You're looking very pleased with yourself there.
Can I say in my experience, so it's quite easy to miss a penalty.
If any of you want to start calling me Nostradamus, feel free.
Goal! Excels up!
Yes, Kasim.
So that's Adeloy has scored for Partick Thistle. He started off very well in the first 15-20 minutes, but he's been quiet for the last 20, and he's just been really physical, held the Airdrie defender off. Keeper's come off his line, he's tucked it away in the bottom left corner. It's 1-1 between Partick Thistle and Airdrie.
Yeah, Craig Watson with the opener there in 37 minutes. Adeloy with the equaliser. Airdrie 1, Partick Thistle 1. I mean, that is incredible. The stats and the penalty. You're right, I can think of so many this season, and so many have actually been dreadful penalties.
Didn't Livy miss one a couple of weeks ago in the league as well?
Livy?
Yeah,
that's what Rory was saying.
Yeah.
They've missed their last two. That's them missed their last three, I think, Rory, is that right?
I think Shinnie missed one against Wraith, I'm sure, as well, in the Cup.
Yeah.
Might be wrong, but it was Shinnie certainly missed the last one, and he's missed this one as well.
Amazing.
Incredible.
That Bruce Anderson before, wasn't it?
That's a piece for the website.
Right, Billy.
That's a piece for the website. That online boys will be listening there, and
get on it, guys. Get on it. Right, let's get around the grounds again. Celtic against Ross County. That early goal from Alistair Johnson, the deflected goal. Louis Palmer, two dreadful penalties there. The first one was retaken because of infringement. The second penalty was just as bad. That was also saved. County, you were telling us, Michael, hitting the bar. Just give us an overview of the game with 40 odd minutes played.
A bit dull.
Yeah.
Aye, pretty predictable, to be perfectly honest. Celtic are on the edge of the box. They're managing to get into a bit of space here. O'Reilly down the right, he's clipped in, has been headed away. They've just not been able to they've not been able to get enough penetration into the game. You heard Brendan Rodgers talking before about running power, being able to get penetration against teams that are very compact. They've not been able to do that well enough today. Leila Bada had a good game. Granted, obviously it was against Bucky Thistle, but he had a good game, and it just sort of highlighted what they've missed when he's not been in the side, especially Kyogo. But they've not been able to do it to the same extent here today. And Ross County, to their credit, on occasions they've been able to get themselves up the park, and Celtic have been a wee bit wasteful. Bernabe got caught in possession with the ball a couple of times and sort of lazy turnovers, but they're not really offering any great hope that they're going to hurt Celtic, apart from obviously that set piece where they hit the crossbar.
Let's get to Tynecastle. Big game there. Hearts against Aberdeen. We had that goal, the great goal from Bojan Miovski, chopped off on 25 minutes. What's happening there now, Willie Miller?
The great goal that never was.
Yep.
It's flattened me because it was a superb strike, and I would have been saying it if it was Lorne Shanklin at the other end as well. So disappointing to see that quality being just erased out of the game. Listen, it's been high tempo. Kingsley had an effort there, wasn't too far away from a set piece free kick given about 22 yards out. It's been end to end. I think Aberdeen have had the better of the opportunities. McGrath had a header that was well saved. Polvares had a shot that just slipped past. George Grant had a strike as well from outside the box, just went past the post, and then Kingsley with that set piece just over the bar, just skimming the top of the bar. So it's been all action. It's been pretty frantic. I think that every pass seems to be a forward pass, which I think is good for the game. And it's bubbling up to be something nice. So really enjoying it so far, but still 0-0.
Plenty at stake there. Let's then get to Rugby Park. Kilmarnock at home to Hibs. What's happening there, Stephen Craigan?
Well, the goal has completely changed the complex of the game, Kenny, because in the first 20 minutes Hibs was tidy in possession. You thought if someone was going to make a breakthrough, it was probably going to be them. The wide players were coming in the pitch, the full-backs were going narrow. Kilmarnock were really struggling to cope with their shape. The goal has completely changed that whatsoever. Kilmarnock are energised, the supporters are energised. Matty Kennedy should have made it 2-0 after the own goal from Venta. And if there's a second goal in this game coming before half-time, you're most likely now think it's going to be the home side. So there's a little bit of work to do for Hibs. Yes, they're tidy with the ball and they're moving the ball well, the Hibs fans are booing behind me just because, beside me, because there's negative passes, there's square passes, they're not penetrating, they're not hurting Kilmarnock often enough. So there's a little bit of work to do.
Half-time and Athletic 1. Yep.
Half-time at Hampden is Queen's Park 0, Ayr United 1.
Thanks to Chick. Also half-time and Athletic 1, Edinburgh City 0, Alloa 0, Falkirk 1, and Stirling Albion have gone ahead at home to Kelty Hearts. Jordan McGregor on 44 minutes. That's 1-0 in that game there.
We have got 7 added on minutes.
The Biscuits half-time. 3-1 to Inverness Cali against Raith, and Raith are at home.
Derek's had an absolute cracker there. That hat-trick from Alex Samuel after Jack Hamilton opened the scoring for Rovers on 25 minutes.
You just look at it, Derek. The turning point, if it is a turning point of Raith Rovers season, Sam Stanton's injury. You look, they've played. This has been their 6th game since then. If they lose this, they'll have won one of 6 since he got injured. Before he got injured, they had this massive winning run.
But Tom, you've got to say this is Inverness is a bogey team. I think it's 1 win in 32 games against them.
I also think back to the goal from the goalie. I also think that equaliser from the goalie, was that not the start of the bad run of form? Am I correct in saying that? The both keeper? Yeah,
no,
I've got a feeling
there had been a slight dip just before that, Kenny.
Kenny, another interesting thing is last 2 games Dylan Easton started on the bench, and that seemed unthinkable earlier on in the season.
You're right, Ken. A lot of people saying he's been the best player in the Championship so far this season. What's happening in your game there at Tannadice, Kenny?
It's just what a lot of Dundee United fans will probably say, typical stuff at home so far this season. They're just really struggling to break down Dunfermline. Plenty of possession, but just can't unlock that defence. Really struggled for anything clear-cut in terms of chances, a couple of half chances, but the fans are starting to get frustrated because if you look at their last 3 home games, they've lost 2 of them against Morton and Raith Rovers. They don't want another sloppy performance at Tannadice. It's still 0-0 against Dunfermline.
No doubt about that. Let's get to Livingston against Dundee, just approaching half-time there, Rory.
Yeah, 4 minutes have just went up at the side. Listen, look, Kenny, Livingston haven't been bad. They've just lacked quality. I mean, I would say Livingston have had 3 attacks for every 1 attack Dundee have had, but Dundee have just looked better when they have attacked. They look more dangerous, they look more of an understanding, more cohesive, whereas Livingston, it's a little bit get into the final third and run out of ideas. They've won a few free kicks, they've had a good number of corners, but again, never really looked like scoring. Even the penalty, I don't think they had any belief they were going to score it, as Leanne will be able to see from the pictures and Tom. So look, Livingston haven't been bad. They've put up a lot of fight, just lacked quality, as I said, and Dundee have taken their chance brilliantly. Great finish by Bakayoko, which looks like it only may have them 1-0 up at half-time, Kenny.
Half-time, Stranraer 0, East Fife 1, Forfar 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 0. Hamilton Accies are 1-0 up at home to Montrose. Spartans 1, Clyde 1, Stirling Albion 1, Kelty Hearts 0. Stirling just going ahead there before the half-time whistle in that game, and that is you right up to date with all the latest scores across the country this afternoon. So you've got a fair bit still to play there, Alan Preston.
Yeah, 4 minutes where it's 1-1, Kenny, and it's been good stuff. And after all the years of St Johnstone having Kane and May up front, not blessed with great pace, they've now got an absolute athlete in Kimpioka. He is lightning quick playing up front. Jessamy's just off him, so complete change for St Johnstone. Someone with real raw pace up front.
Half time at Tynecastle 0-0.
Thanks to Willie Miller there. If you're just tuning in, a big moment in that game. A terrific finish from Bojan Miovski in 25 minutes. Looked a great goal, but there was a VAR check, and that one was chalked off. So Hearts 0, Aberdeen 0 there. We'll speak about Barry Robson a bit more in the second. I also want to speak about Nick Montgomery. What's happening at Hibs? Is it good enough, his time in charge? Tom spoke about that during the week on Sports. And a chance there.
So close for Dunfermline. It was a brilliant strike from outside the box by Sam Fisher. The ball get cleared after a long throw, and it was a brilliant save, low down to his right by Jack Walton, right on the cusp of half time. Still Dunfermline goalless against Dundee United at Tannadice.
Right, thank you to Kenny Crawford there.
Half-time at Celtic Park, Kenny, it's 1-0 to the home side.
Thanks to Michael Stewart. Alistair Johnson with that goal in the first minute. It looked as if at that point it could have been a rout. They'd a penalty saved twice. Louis Palmy had a retaken penalty. That was as bad as the first one. Yeah, chance.
Gilt-edged chance for Stephen Kelly. The flag has now went up actually afterwards, but it was a great run down the left-hand side, and it was cut back to Stephen Kelly. Sorry, Livingston's right-hand side, cut back to Stephen Kelly, and you know, player with good quality just gets underneath it, and that is half-time, 1-0 Dundee. Gets underneath it and it just loops onto the crossbar actually, but Livingston done okay, but behind at the break, Kenny.
Thank you to Rory Loy there. So all the half-time starting to come through on Sports Sound this afternoon.
Update on the penalty stats.
All right.
What's the percentage of penalties that have been scored in the Premiership this season? What's your best guess? Percentage
50.
of...
60.
I'm going to go...
How many guesses are you having, Biscuits?
I'm going to go 65%.
I'm going to go less than that. I think it was 60.
Biscuits, you've read the WhatsApp message, haven't you?
I've not.
You have.
I've got a game to watch. What's a 60?
It is 60%.
I'm sorry.
It's 60%.
I initially said 50. I thought it'd been 50-50 because every time you hear it's penalty miss.
60% is low, isn't it?
Very low.
29 out of 48 penalties in the Premiership have been scored.
That's just dreadful.
What was that, Thompson, again?
Yeah, chance for Stephen.
Yeah, big save from Kieran O'Hara. Ball stays alive for Hibs. Can they get it in the back of the net? It lands at Tavares. He's twisting on the far side, and that's Hibs' probably most potent move off the game. Good little run by Venta just inside the 18-yard box. Fizzed it across goal, and I think it was Emiliano Hansen. That's what he wants to be known as. He gets the shot. Good save by O'Hara, and Kilmarnock eventually get it away. Still 1-0, and we're probably about 30 seconds away from the whistle.
So still playing there and still playing in McDermott Park, Al.
We sure are. Yeah, we're into the last minute of the 7 added on. It'll probably end up well. I was going to say it probably end up well. Here's Carey through on the right hand side. Hits it across. Nah, he goes for the shot but drags it wide. Actually goes out for a throw in. Motherwell were not happy. One of their players, they felt, got an elbow up the far end just outside the box. Referee waves play on. It's been really good stuff.
Kenny, Kilmarnock 1, Hibs 0.
Thanks to Stephen Craig in there. So that own goal from Dylan Venti on 25 minutes gives Killy the advantage down there at Rugby Park. As I say, we'll speak about Hibs in the second half of Open All Mics. Exciting times for Hibs fans in terms of investment. Of course, you have to have the right man in charge there in terms of recruitment and being able to build a good squad. Has it been good enough so far from the Hibs manager, Nick Montgomery? So still playing at McDermott Park there. Ryan McGowan with the opener for the home side on 3 minutes.
Kenny, half-time.
Thanks to Alan Preston. Theo Baird with the equaliser on 29 minutes. All the half-time reports coming up right here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland.
Chance! And it's a goal! What a goal!
All the action from all the biggest games.
Oh, it's the second goal!
This is Open All Mics from Sports Sound.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
A very busy afternoon on Sports Sound. A full card in the top flight, a full card in the Championship. Also, we kicked off with commentary from Paisley. St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. Cyril Dessers with a goal there. A second commentary option comes from Celtic Park. Celtic at home to Ross County. Let's hear from match commentator Paul Mitchell.
It's Celtic 1, Ross County 0, and bear with me, this might sound a little strange, but scoring in the opening minute has almost worked against Celtic this afternoon because they've lacked urgency, they've lacked intensity ever since they got that opening goal. It's almost like they got the goal and thought, well, we can relax. Well, you can't necessarily blame them. They've won the last 10 against Ross County. They've trailed for just 12 minutes over those 10 games, but certainly I think Brendan Rodgers will be decrying the lack of urgency, and certainly at times they've gone widely. Labada at times has just decided to cut back inside. Palmer's not been overly effective on that far side. Kyogo's playing. I have to say, you wouldn't necessarily know it. But what a game it has been. That goal in the opening minute, Alistair Johnson, nice move by Celtic, hit it from outside the box. It certainly picked up a deflection, which wrong-footed the goalkeeper, so 1-0 was the score. After 19 minutes, goalkeeper made a great save, George Wickens, from Matt O'Reilly. The ball broke back onto Bernardo, who scooped the ball over the bar from 12 yards. Penalty kick after 26 minutes. What a strange one. This turned out to be Money's challenge on McGregor. Spot-on penalty, no doubt. Lewis Palmer stepped up. Goalkeeper made the save, driving down to his right hand side, but VAR intervened to say there was encroachment. The penalty was to be taken again. Palmer put it in the same place. Goalkeeper dived the same way and made the same save. Celtic could have been in further trouble though. Celtic leading here by 1-0 when the bar was hit. Corner kick from the right hand side, swung in by Danda. Nightingale, well, he didn't even expect the ball to come to him. Joe Hart missed it. Nightingale hit the ball splush off the front of the bar, and Celtic managed to survive that one. For 6 players playing in the Scottish Premiership for Ross County for the first time this afternoon, they've looked not too bad. They're growing into the game. Nothing can be taken for granted in this one. Half time, Celtic 1, Ross County 0.
Thank you to Paul Mitchell. Next stop, Tynecastle Newcastle. Hearts at home to Aberdeen. There for us, Willie Miller.
Yeah, it's 0-0 at half-time here, Kenny. It's been an energetic game, there's no doubt about that. Plenty of enthusiasm out there. A lot of direct football and not too many players dwelling on the ball. I thought it might get bogged down in midfield with the formations that the teams are playing, but it's been a very open game. The big talking point, of course, is the Bojan Majowski strike. Absolutely magnificent strike from the Aberdeen striker, right into the top corner, left foot curler, far post. Xander Clark had no chance, but the referee was invited to have a look by VAR at the incident, the build up to the incident, and although he had a very good view of the incident in question, he gave nothing in normal time, but when he's had the chance to take a look at it, and he looked at it very closely, he decided that there was actually a foul, and it was by Majowski on Beningame, as Beningame was trying to get back, and the goal was chalked off. Couple of efforts from either side. McGrath with a header that was well saved, Polvara with a shot just past George Grant, with a curler that went by the post, then Kingsley from a free kick just over the bar. It's been an exciting game of football, but goalless here at half-time.
Thank you to Willie Miller. Next stop, Rugby Park, Kilmarnock at home to Hibs, and let's hear from Stephen Craigan.
Yeah, Ken, it's been a very tight affair this afternoon here down at Rugby Park. It's just a single goal in it. I have to say, Hibs did start the better team. You felt as if there was a goal coming, it was going to come from the visitors. But Kilmarnock did get the lead after 25 minutes. An in-swinging cross from Daniel Armstrong from the right-hand side was unfortunately headed into his own net by Dylan Venter. I have to say, he was under lots of pressure from Corey Ndaba as well as Kyle Vassell. There's potential of a free kick. He was under so much pressure, arms on his back, but the referee waved it on and the home side went ahead. After that, Kilmarnock really grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck. A few moments later, Matty Kennedy should have made it 2-0. Quick thinking by Armstrong on the halfway line. One long ball opened up the Hibs defence, but unfortunately his toe poke just drifted past David Marshall's goal. Emiliano Hansen, he had Hibs' best chance right on half-time. Good run down the right-hand side by Venter. Flashed the ball across goal, and in came Emiliano Hansen. He had a really good strike on it. Good save by Kieran O'Hara, who was quite quiet in the first half. But Hibs have plenty of work to do in the second half. Only two teams have won here at Rugby Park all season. City rivals Hearts as well as Ross County. So half-time here at Rugby Park. Kilmarnock 1, Hibs 0.
Thanks to Stephen Craigan. Let's get a half-time report from Almond Vale. Livingston at home to Dundee with Rory Loy.
Yes, away side Dundee 1-0 up at the break. However, the first chance of the game came from the home side Livingston in 10 minutes. Michael Nottingham at the back post from a Stephen Bradley corner was headed just past the post. When 16 minutes, Daniel Mackay was played through and Harry Sharp was a little bit uncertain in the Dundee goal. He did get away with it. His foot caught the ball as Daniel Mackay collided into him. A possible free kick otherwise. However, he was deemed to get a touch on the ball. The real bit of quality in the game came in the 21st minute from Amadou Bakayoko. It was a poor clearance from James Penrice which fell to the feet of Bakayoko, and with one sweeping swing of his left leg, he half volleyed it into the bottom corner to put Dundee 1-0 up. On 41 minutes, McCowan was deemed to have fouled Jason Holt rather softly, in my opinion. I thought an initial free kick was given, but after a VAR intervened, it was changed to a penalty, and Shinnie's poor penalty right down the middle was saved by Sharp. Stephen Kelly also put one right over the bar, right on the stroke of half-time. Dundee ahead at half-time for the third league game in a row. They've only taken 1 point from the last two, though, so all three will be the message from Tony Docherty at half-time as Livingston looked back into this. At half-time, it's Livingston 0, Dundee 1.
Thanks to Rory Oy. Let's now hear from Alan Preston, the half-time report from McDermott Park, St Johnstone against Motherwell.
Where it's 1-1 at half-time, Kenny. St Johnstone took the lead as early as the third minute. A Matty Smith free kick caused all sorts of havoc. Ball booked to Ryan McGowan for about 4 yards out, and he knocked it home. And after a lengthy VAR check, that Blair Spittle seemed to be playing Andrew Considine onside, and the goal stood, so 1-0 to St Johnstone. George Gentry went forward and flashed the ball across, no takers, but that was similar 10 minutes later when Gent got in and his cross hit was volleyed by Bear right at Meathoff from point blank range. A wonderful save by the keeper, but that same combination brought him an equaliser in 29 minutes. Gent to the byline, whipped across in there with Theo Bear with a header scoring against his old side. Half-time score, St Johnstone 1, Motherwell 1.
Thank you to Alan Preston. Let's get into the Championship. Queen's Park at home to Ayr United. There for us, Chick Young.
Queen's Park 0, Ayr United 1, and maybe the best of the entertainment is watching the respective managers, Callum Davidson and Scott Brown, very, very activated in their technical areas. One goal has done it. It was inches, literally inches away from being a penalty kick. Free kick almost on the 18-yard line. Jamie Murphy stood up to take it and drove it low beyond the wall and into the goalkeeper's right-hand post. It's Ayr United ahead. The teams are out just about to start the second half, Kenny. It's Ayr United who lead Queen's Park at Hampton by a goal to nil.
Thanks to Chick. Next up, Tannadice. Dundee United against Dunfermline with Kenny Crawford.
Dundee United 0, Dunfermline 0. The hosts boosted by the presence of Witherspoon, Docherty and Sybil, but despite plenty of possession, United struggling to terrorise the Pars, who are without a win in 5. Indeed, it was Dunfermline with the best chance of the match so far through Sam Fisher's stinging drive, which was well saved by Jack Walton. 0-0 at half-time.
Thanks to Kenny Crawford. Let's now hear about Wraith Rovers. My goodness, what a first half for you, Derek Ferguson, at Stars Park.
Yeah, we had a credible first half. A hat-trick from Alex Samuel, cancelling out the opening from Wraith's Jack Hamilton in 25 minutes. That was with the head. The first for Alex Samuel, the equaliser, came on the half hour. Samuel scampering away from a static Wraith defence to slot home from just inside the box. The second and 36, volleying home from 18 yards out from a central position. Then Alex Samuel to complete the hat-trick. 4 minutes later, another volley, this time 8 yards out at the front post area. Magnificent stuff. As we stand at the minute, it's Wraith Rovers 1, Inverness Cali Thistle 3.
Thanks to Derek Ferguson. Let's then hear about Airdrie against Partick Thistle. The half-time report comes from Kasim Sheikh.
Aye, half-time here, it was Airdrie 1, Partick Thistle 1. The away team started the better side in the first 10-15 minutes and they looked very threatening, especially with Adeloy up front, very physical, but then seemed to just go to sleep for the next 30 minutes. Airdrie really worked hard. Lewis McGregor put some shift in, he'll have a good sleep tonight. Adam Frizzle, the captain, has put in a really good shift as well, just to start to get the momentum back going in their direction. And then at 38 minutes, a scramble in the box, Craig Watson tucked it away, and that kind of sparked the game into life. Up until then it was very quiet. Adeloy scored at 41 minutes, and it's 1-1, and we're about to kick off the second half.
Thanks to Cassim. Elsewhere in the Championship, Morton nil, Arbroath down to 10 men there. In League 1, Alloa nil, Falkirk 1, Annan Athletic 1, Edinburgh City nil, Cove Rangers nil, Queen of the South 1, Hamilton Accies 1, Montrose nil, Stirling Albion 1, Kelty Hearts nil. In League 2, Elgin City nil, Dumbarton 1. That's a full-time scoreline. That one kicked off early. Forfar nil, Bonnyrigg Rose nil, Peterhead 1, Stenhousemuir 1, Spartans 1, Clyde 1, and Stranraer nil, East Fife 1. And in League, that's all you're down south. Actually, just looking, there are no games in the English top flight this afternoon. All the games there are in the FA Cup. Ipswich 1, Maidstone 2, a full-time scoreline. What a shock in that game. Half-time, Everton 0, Luton Town 1, Leeds United 1, Plymouth Argyle 0, Leicester City 0, Birmingham City 0, Sheffield United 2, Brighton 2. 7 o'clock kick-off, Fulham at home to Newcastle United. That's you right up to date with all the latest scorelines. Once again, a choice of listening on Sports, and for live commentary from Celtic Park. Celtic are up against Ross County. Tune to BBC Radio Scotland Digital, 810 medium wave, and BBC Radio Scotland Extra on BBC Sounds. For open all mics, you'll find that on 92 to 95 FM and BBC Radio Scotland on BBC Sounds, and both are live online at bbc.co.uk/Sport Scotland.
Football from Sports Sound.
Brilliant drop of the shoulder! From BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
Welcome back to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. Already plenty of talking points. The big games kicking off at 3 o'clock this afternoon. That after a lunchtime kick-off in Paisley. St Mirren 0, Rangers 1, Cyril Dessers with a goal there on 14 minutes. Annan Athletic have scored a second goal early in the second half at home to Edinburgh City. Benjamin Lucint with a goal there on 49 minutes. We're still waiting for the teams to come out. Michael Stewart at Celtic Park. It looked as if it was a horror afternoon for Ross County very early on in that game, but credit to them, they've hung right in there. You there, Michael? No problem with the line there at Celtic Park. We'll get Michael's thoughts on that in the next couple of minutes. Willie Miller is at Tynecastle for us this afternoon. Hearts against Aberdeen. You were saying they're a decent game, Willie.
Yeah, it's just kicked off in the second half. You know, it hasn't been in any way silky football, but it's been very direct, Kenny, and it's unusual to see a very direct game of football these days. Normally, you know, the teams want to have a number of passes before they actually get into the danger area, but that hasn't been the case in the first half. It certainly hasn't. Both teams have been very direct, always thinking about playing a forward pass as well. There hasn't been an awful lot of excitement in and around the box. And any excitement that we did have, unfortunately, it was overshadowed by a VAR decision when Majowski put the ball into the top corner. But, you know, I think the fans have enjoyed it. More of the same would be good in the second half. And, you know, at the start of the second half, it's Hearts taking the game to Aberdeen very much in the same fashion.
Thanks to Willie Miller. Alloa Athletic 0, League One leaders Falkirk 2. Calvin Miller with a second goal there on 50 minutes. Michael, you're with us now. I was just saying that it looked really horrendous for County early on there, losing that goal in the first minute. But fair play to Derek Adams' side. They've hung in there.
Aye, they have. It's I think you heard Paul Mitchell's description of the half there, that scoring an early goal, and it's not kicked on for Celtic. It's just been a little bit flat, a little bit pedestrian. I think it's a pretty fair description of it. It's and as long as the game sits at 1-0, then Ross County feel like something can happen. You know, they hit the crossbar before, and as much as Celtic are obviously dominating and controlling the game, I think we've all watched enough football to know that something can happen that you're not expecting, and all of a sudden you're staring at potentially dropping points here. So it's important for Celtic that they open things up a little bit quicker in the second half.
Thank you to Michael Stewart there. Let's get to Rugby Park. Kilmarnock at home to Hibs this afternoon. Stephen Craigan, what about that first half? Is that a fair reflection, 1-0 to the home side?
Probably not, Kenny, with regards possession and how competitive Hibs were in the game, but you just feel as if Hibs lacked that little bit of a cutting edge. Well, certainly lacked it today, because early on in the game, Tavares stayed really wide and Yuan stayed wide, and there was lots of space for the Hibs players to dictate the game in midfield, and they'd done that, but they didn't have that penetrating pass or that penetrating run. Kilmarnock, the home side were actually, the home fans were getting a little bit frustrated. There was kind of grumblings when the passes went astray or someone kicked the ball out of the pitch, so you felt as if Hibs had Kilmarnock where they wanted them. However, once the goal went in, the whole dynamic changed, the atmosphere went up, the Hibs players went into their shell a little bit, and Kilmarnock took over from there. But for a good save though from the Kilmarnock goalkeeper Kieran O'Hara right on half time, it could have been 1-1, but it said it. Kilmarnock have only lost against two teams here at Rugby Park this season. Hearts have came here twice and won, and Ross County won in the league, so it's going to be a big effort for Hibs in the second half. As it stands, I know Hibs and Hearts always measure themselves against each other in the capital. Hibs are currently sitting 15 points behind Hearts, and when Nick Montgomery's first game, after his first game here back on the 16th of December, the 2-2 draw, they were 3 points behind. They're now 15 points behind. That tells you how wide the gap has got. Yes, credit to Stephen Naismith, but I know you're going to talk about Nick Montgomery's job so far, but that tells me it's not been good enough.
Yeah, absolutely, Steve. We'll take a deeper dive into it. Was there a chance somewhere?
Yeah, it was at Livingston. It was a half chance. Livingston can fly out the traps in this second half. They've obviously had
chance. Goal!
Yes.
It's a goal for Wraith, and it's Vaughan. He's sent clear down the left-hand side into the box. I tell you what, I think he picked his spot, and he picked his spot through the keeper's legs. So this game got a lot of life in it. Left yet, there's a little injury as well. I think that might be Harper. I think he took a sore one, just colliding with the post, trying to clear it. But no, 3-2, great game.
So Lewis Vaughan there with the goal there, bringing Wraith Rovers right back into that one. Let's get to where's we go next? St Johnstone against Motherwell. Alan Preston, are you back underway? I know you were delayed finishing the first half.
Just underway, 50 seconds into the second half, and it's Motherwell on the attack, and it's O'Donnell on the right, and he's won a corner for his side. It's been a good game. I wasn't expecting much, I must admit, with these two sides, but it's been fairly well balanced, this game. 1-1 at the moment.
Seeing some respite for Michael Beale. Sunderland 2, Stoke City 0 in that game down south. My goodness, the Sunderland fans have been really critical of him, haven't they, Tom English? Though you've seen some of the stuff this past week or so, but at the moment, the vast majority appear not to be having Michael Beale. 2-0 there ahead today, though.
They're gone thermonuclear on him. I'd say they weren't warned. One phone call, somebody in Scotland might have saved them a bit of grief.
Yeah, they're really struggling. But I say that they're in front today.
Yeah, that would be a big, a little bit of respite for him. Since Biscuits, you aced the last test on the penalties. I have another one for you.
All right, go for it.
The answer's no in the group.
Is the answer not in the group, Tom?
The answer is in the group, but I'm relying on.
Listen, I'm sitting here with Tyrone, and I'm not looking at my phone.
Okay, so it's 60% success rate from the spot this season in the league. Last season, what was it?
81.
What do you do with that?
It's not clever, Mike.
I can guarantee you can ask you can ask anybody that's sat around here. I'm not sitting on my phone.
Do you believe him, Tom?
I'll put Jane Lewis on here. Jane Lewis, am I sitting on my phone?
Put your phone down, Michael. No, he's not at all.
Okay, Michael, I accept it. And
there you go.
You're as close as makes no difference. 81.5%.
Well, there you go. It's pretty good, Tom, isn't it?
Very good. Very impressive. Very impressive. Gold star for you.
Tavernier's missed. He's missed a few. Is he not this year? Normally reliable.
It's incredible. 81.5% last season, down to 60%. That is a serious drop. I mean, what's going on?
Tavares is straight. Oh, what a tackle by Stuart Findlay. Just a simple long ball up the pitch from David Marshall. Vente wins the flick on. Tavares is through, almost similar to Cyril Dessers in the Old Firm game. He's delaying, coming in from the right-hand side, doesn't get a shot away, and Stuart Findlay slides it out.
Stirling Albion 2, Kelty Hearts 0. Dale Carrick with the second goal there on 53 minutes. They scored their opener just before the half-time whistle.
Oh, good block. Chance again. Oh, it was for Spittle. The ball's cut back. He's got a free hit. Normally a really good striker of the ball. Doesn't catch it. Goes back to him and he hooks it back into the box. Motherwell putting the pressure on, but still 1-1 here at McDermott.
Real chance, Kenny, here for Ayr United to make it 2-0. They were 3-1 as Queen's Park were caught in a forward position. A real chance to get the ball in the net. Eventually, it fell for Anton Dowds, and I thought he had to score, and he just put it beyond the left-hand post of Callum Ferry. But Queen's Park have been better since the restart. We've actually played 11, nearly 12 minutes in the second half.
Yes, Willie.
Yeah, we've got a penalty check for Hearts, Kenny.
It's like it could be a handball, Willie, off the hand of Devlin.
Mickey Devlin, I think, from where I'm sitting, didn't look at it, but then I've just watched the replay, and I think his right hand is just out from his body, and it struck the right hand, so I think this could be given. We're just still waiting on the decision from VAR, but it's not looking
good. It's a penalty, Willie.
Yeah.
Who's going to take it? Who's going to take it?
Exactly.
You've got to give it Shankland, haven't you? You couldn't get him off penalties, could you?
He might take himself off them, who knows?
Do you think so?
Possibly.
Right, so we've just seen the screen go up there. Kevin Clancy with his hand to his ear. VAR check in progress for a potential handball. Nicky Devlin right in the edge of the box, and he's going over, Willie.
He's gone over to have a look at it. I don't know what took them so long to invite him to go over and have a look at it, because, we're seeing, and I think Leanne seeing replays, and it looks as though, Mickey Devlin stick his right hand out, or his right arm out, and it's hit his hand. So he's away over to have a look at it, and we just await his decision. But from what I've seen, it looked very much like a pen.
Big save here at Celtic Park. It was a corner kick, came in. I don't know who headed it. I think it was maybe Scales down, and the goalkeeper Wickens was able to flick it up over the crossbar. It's gone behind for another corner.
It's a penalty. I don't know why it's taking so long. I really don't. Have you seen it back in the studio?
Yeah, not particularly close. So it's not a great picture, Willie, but it does
looks a penalty. I think his reaction as well. Devlin, as soon as it happens, almost pulls his arm out the way.
He's made his frame, his shadow bigger.
Definitely.
His arm's out by his side, so it's hit his hand. So I don't see there's any other. But it's a penalty. But what a time to take!
Clear and obvious, Willie. Clear and obvious, they say.
Yeah, but it was clear and obvious.
Exactly.
Alan, that's what I'm saying.
You've told us minutes ago.
Yeah, I know. Incredible.
So who do you want stepping up, Alan?
Oda, someone like that.
Looks like George Grant's got the ball in his hand. Yeah. The Aberdeen players are contesting it.
Who would not be Robbo to take it?
Graham Shinney's in the referee's face. There's a number of them round the referee, but he's not going to change his mind, that's for sure. And it's Grant that looks as though he fancies sticking this one past Kelarus.
That type of handball decision, well, he's pretty consistent from what we've seen this season, so I don't think the players can really protest it too much.
I don't think so either.
You know, we've looked at it, and what you're asking Devlin to do is defend and naturally tuck his hands behind his back, and he won't have that issue. But unfortunately for him, he doesn't, and the arm is extended.
Well, then of course
that's a way to take it anyway with the right foot, and the odds are against him missing it, but he doesn't. What a magnificent strike into the top corner, right foot into his right hand side top corner to give Hearts a lead.
Well, of course they can complain if you're saying that he should be putting his arms, but I know what you're saying in regards to that has been given as a penalty kick, but of course they can complain about it because it's not right. It needs to change.
I know, but the decision's been given, Michael. Like, he's went to VAR, he's went to the screen, and there's 4 and 5 players still around. I think Willie's point is he's not going to change his mind whether we can debate it or not. Like,
but you're asking people in an emotive situation to not have any emotions.
Right,
like, we're all like looking at that. I've not seen it, but you've described it in terms of putting your arms behind your back. That's just nonsensical, and it just shows a mockery of what the rule is like at the moment.
I know, but that is the reality of football now. Put your hands behind your back, otherwise if it comes off your hand, it's likely going to be a penalty.
Yes.
So that's not happened. Nicky Devlin's outstretched his arm and the ball's hit it.
But so tell me this, do you think that his arm is in a normal position for what was going on, or do you think it was justifiable?
He's jumped and his arms come out of his body.
Right. How can you jump with your arms behind your back? You can't jump like a penguin.
So, I'm only going by what you were describing in terms of he should put his arms behind his back, which is unnatural, and then he doesn't give away a penalty kick. That's a ludicrous situation.
I'm not saying that because I agree with Michael. I'm saying that's literally the law now. That's what we're asking players to do. I don't like it.
Yes, Leanne, and what
I'm saying... You're arguing with me about something that I actually agree with you.
No, Leanne. No, what we're disagreeing on is that you're saying that the folks shouldn't be able to complain about that. It's a ludicrous situation that you agree isn't right. I don't think it's right. So how can you expect the players to just go,
I just said there's no point in debating it. It's pointless because the decision has been given.
It is pointless debating it.
Well, it's not pointless because I tell you what, things change, rules change, things get adjusted.
It's not going to change, that's the point.
So when...
Michael, just to calm things down a little bit, sorry, I had a career of contesting decisions from referees. And when they've made their mind up, they don't change. They don't change their mind.
When have you ever seen a player or players go to a referee and change his mind on the field?
Yeah, but I'm not saying that they shouldn't go to the referee and put him under pressure, but I'm saying it's futile. You go and do it, and it maybe gets a bit of, steam out of your body, or that feeling that the penalty isn't justified. But the referee isn't going to change his mind, but maybe helps the player just to get
It's a bigger picture thing as well. It has to happen at the end of the season. The laws need to be looked at and changed. So I agree with Leanne. In terms of this incident today, the player should know better. But in terms of it doesn't mean we agree with the law, but the law should be looked at the end of the season. Meanwhile, Livingston are making a raft of changes. Mackay was inches away from an equaliser there at the back stick. I think it was Stephen Kelly rolled one right across, and he was so close to getting on the end of it. Kelly has now gone off. Nubley is coming on, so he is, as is, let's see here, Tete Yenge, and for Dundee, half-time substitutions, Mulligan and Howley both on.
Yes, Stephen.
2-0 to Kilmarnock. The supplier once again in this right-hand side, Daniel Armstrong. It's a disaster of a goal for Hibs. He's further away this time on the right-hand side. He's almost on the touchline. He put a lovely in-swinging ball. It misses everyone out. I think it's Megwa at the back post. Switches off, and Matty Kennedy sneaks in round behind him and just pokes the ball beyond David Marshall. Out of nothing, Hibs suddenly find themselves 2 goals down.
Liam Henderson has scored a third for Falkirk, 3-0 up away at Alloa Athletic, the League One league leaders.
Oh, it's an equaliser for Queen's Park. Scott Brown turns away in disgust. It's a fabulous ball swung in from the left-hand side. It's a glancing header into the back of the net. And I think it might be Dom Thomas with the header. I'll confirm that in a minute.
And Athletic 3, Emirates City nil, Tommy Goff 64.
Rooney Payton with the goal, 1 each.
What's Scott Brown generally like the touchline as manager, Chick?
he goes through as much energy as he did when he was playing. He's going absolutely nuts. See, Whittaker's out there as well, trying to have a go at the players. I think he felt that was coming. Queen's Park have been pretty good since half-time, and he's been right on the edge. You know, they technically a hand in Kenny. It's absolutely huge, and he's stretched it right up to the limit, almost on the pitch. Cam Davison's pretty much the same form as well. Queen's Park deserved that equaliser. Good goal by Rudy Pearson.
Hearts are on fire here. That was James Forrest with the strike outside the box. A really good save from Kel Roos to turn it round for the corner. It's been corner after corner, and Aberdeen have been tested, that's for sure, at the set pieces, and another one that's thrown into the box. But Aberdeen defend it. But the game has been played, all of it in the second half, in the Aberdeen half. So Hearts really on top in the second half.
Morton have gone ahead against 10 man Arbroath. Robbie Muirhead with a goal there on 63 minutes, and confirmation coming through the goal that Chick told us about, the equaliser at Hampden. Rudy Payton for the home side. Queen's Park 1, Ayr United 1. So going round the grounds, the latest scores in Scotland this afternoon: Celtic 1, Ross County 0, Hearts 1, Aberdeen 0, Kilmarnock 2, Hibs 0, Livingston 0, Dundee 1, St Johnstone 1, Motherwell 1. In the Championship, Airdrie 1, Partick Thistle 1, Dundee United 0, Dunfermline 0, Morton 1, Arbroath 0, Queen's Park 1, Ayr United 1, Wraith Rovers 2, Inverness, Cally, Thistle 3. In League 1 this afternoon, Alloa Athletic 0, the leaders Falkirk 3, Annan Athletic 3, Edinburgh City 0, Cove Rangers 0, Queen of the South 1, Hamilton Accies 1, Montrose 0, Stirling Albion 2, Kelty Hearts 0. In League 2, full-time score: Elgin City 0, Dumbarton 1, Forfar Athletic 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Peterhead 1, Stenhousemuir 1, Spartans 1, Clyde 1, and Stranraer 0, East 5-1. That is the latest scores across Scotland this afternoon. Tom English, this is a good time to talk about Nick Montgomery. We had a chat this week. We were saying that he's under a lot of pressure. It's just not been good enough, has it?
No, nowhere near good enough. And again, two poor goals once again today. An own goal and that second goal. I mean, it's great delivery from Armstrong, and it's a nice finish from Kennedy, but defensively, Hibs are dreadful. And like, they're signing all these players, and they're bringing in loan players, and they're all middle to front. I mean, where's the shoring up of the defence? Where's the new blood? It's been obvious as the nose in my face that Hibs need defenders. They haven't, and Nick Montgomery seems to be doing nothing about this. So
what do you see from them this afternoon, Stephen? What do you see? Where do you see the problems in that Hibs team?
Well, the goals really have come out of nothing. The goals have come out of just simple crosses into the box that players haven't been able to defend. If you were sitting watching the game today, you'd think there's not an awful lot between these teams. They're quite evenly matched. There's a bit of pace in the Hibs team, but Kilmarnock have just got a way of finding a way to win, Kenny. They've got a resilience and something about them that Hibs don't have. There's a softness about the Hibs back line.
Yes, 2-0. Best player on the pitch, Luke McCowan doubles Dundee's lead. Michael Mellon, just on as a substitute, plays a beautiful part in the goal. He could have shot himself. He slipped it back to McCowan after a 1-2. Awful touch by Nottingham, gave Dundee possession in the final third, and they made no mistake. It's Livingston 0, Dundee 2.
My goodness, you really fear for Livingston. Dundee going very, very well. Real disappointment, of course. 2-0 up at Tynecastle on Tuesday night, beaten 3-2 by Hearts, but they're bouncing back in style against the bottom side this afternoon. Liam, where do you stand in this debate around Hibs? There's substantial investment coming into that club at the moment. Do you think Nick Montgomery's the right man to have that?
Look, I think it's hard to tell. Probably at this point he needs this transfer window and possibly one more, I think, to get a true reflection of where he's at as a manager. When you look at some of the players that are missing as well, I think when you take Martin Boyle out of a Hibs side, they miss him indefinitely. An outlet going forward, his energy, his pace, his goals.
Leanne, he scored 2 goals this season, both against Livingston.
I know, but their form has probably been inconsistent at best, and he's coming off the back of his injury. But as a collective, they've brought in Kenai Omegwa, that's playing full back, who was championship level only a month or so ago. He's went to a winter training camp with him, and he's now in there playing 2 consecutive games, probably getting exposed and without the right level of preparation to be at this level. So I think injuries have hindered them. The players that are missing, Miller's obviously out as well. So it's hard to get a true
but
gauge.
These players have been part of it. These players have been part of the problem since Dick Montgomery came in. It's not as if we can bring the players back.
So is it the manager then?
Well,
or is it the players?
Well, see, just looking in general, briefly, I had a look. The last 6 transfer windows, Hibs have signed something like, there's been a player turnover of about 77, 78 players. How can you build, and 4 managers have been in those 6 transfer windows. So how can you build consistency and continuity when the manager's not consistently there and the players are continually turning over? So Hibs are getting what they sow because they haven't been able to stick with someone and give someone time with the players being signed.
Well, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? You know, the players that have been signed haven't been good enough, but the manager who's been signing the players hasn't been good enough.
Yeah.
So I think it's a collective failure. This failure at Hibs is not just down to one person. It's a collective thing.
What a strike from Shanklin.
Yeah, well,
what a strike from Shanklin outside the box. Great build-up play down the left-hand side. Shanklin gets a sight. He looks at that top corner. He's going for it. Kellerus throws himself at it and manages to get a good firm palm on it, turn it round the corner. Once again, hearts on fire, but Kellerus equal to that strike from Shanklin. It was superb.
Alan, are you going to come in on
I just got to say, gone are the days of it just being a manager about transfers. It's a whole team. Managers now don't really go down to games in England on a Tuesday when they get a Wednesday off and stay overnight and take in 3 or 4 games and go and sign a player. It's a team. He'll have the final say, but he'll be watching clips more than anything. So it's not just down to the manager, it's about the recruitment team and everyone that's involved with it. It's not just one person's fault.
It's also the shape of the team as well, isn't it, Stephen? Because the guys were talking about that at Easter Road on Wednesday night. He seems quite rigid in his formation, the manager.
Well, he stuck a game with the 4-4-2, and nothing against Joe Newell or Dylan Levitt, but they don't really have a defensive bone in their body. Yes, Joe Newell will lunge into tackles and try and break play up, but that's not his game. His game is to get on possession of the ball and try and make things happen going forward. So him and Levitt are very similar. They don't have an aggressive midfield player, an enforcer who can break the play up. They have Tavares and they have Johan who are good going forward. You look at the goals the other night, getting exposed for not matching runs. So clearly what he's doing isn't working. So as much as you can blame the players, the manager has to set them up in a way that makes them difficult to play against first and foremost, but also carry a threat going forward. And unfortunately today they haven't really had either.
It will be very interesting to see if and when Bill Foley's investment is rubber stamped in the next week or so. Because he's going to have a big say. He's going to have a big say in the ins and outs of this, and I think there's a lot of change coming at that club.
Oh, you think so?
I do, yeah. Well, I
agree. I would agree.
Bill Foley is not just investing whatever it is. The $6 million is the figure that's been mentioned for the good of his health. About 25% of the club. It's going to be changes there. Of course there are.
Speaking of changes,
Nicholas Kuhn is on at Celtic Park. Didn't want to interrupt that enthralling conversation, but the new recruit is just entered the park at Celtic.
Right, give us your take on Hibs under Nick Montgomery.
Well, I mean, look, the results are not good enough, plain and simple. But he's barely been in the job, and I get the impression that folk are talking about he needs to be sacked. I mean, I've seen more in terms of a shape and a style from Nick Montgomery than I did from the 2 previous managers. The recruitment has not been good enough for a collective period of time. Defensively, I think Tom made the point that where are the recruits coming in? That would be my biggest criticism of the folk that are in charge at the moment is defensively, at the start of the season, that was where they needed to strengthen. We're now in January and they've not really done anything apart from Liam was talking about Megwa, who's obviously come back and he's playing in the Championship. So it's the biggest criticism I would give them is they're no plugging the gaps in the team that they need to at the moment. But certainly from the manager's perspective, he needs to start picking up results, or there'll be pressure and there'll be talk from folk.
I think we watched them last week, Tom and Ian McCollum. Kenny, you got to see the game at Forfar, where they were vulnerable every time there was a corner or a free kick coming into the box.
Yep.
They don't have guys that go and dominate the area in both boxes. You don't have centre halves that clear it, and that's a problem, a big problem.
If you look at how much Hibs have spent in the last few years, and it's obviously been, I think a lot of people understood and recognised that Hibs have never been big spenders up until the last few years, but they've spent a few quid. But you look at the squad and you're going, where's it been spent?
Was Venty about $750,000, Michael?
Sorry? Yeah, I know. Yes.
I
think so, apparently. Well, that was what was obviously mooted, is that it was around about that. And he looked bright, he looked decent when he first joined. Now, I'm not sure. It doesn't look like a penalty box striker, which is what I thought he looked like when he first came. You know, Noah Ken is on big money. Yeah. He's nowhere to be seen. He's not good enough. You know, so there's obviously been mistakes that were made in terms of spending that they outlaid.
Oh, it's a goal! Check. It's a goal. Ayr United have retaken the lead. I think it's Mark McKenzie with the header away at the near post at the Tory Glen end of Hampden Park. A grand run, wonderful run, good to build up play, and it's a little header. And it is McKenzie with the header. Scott Brown puts his hands in there. 2-1 Ayr United.
Alan.
What a chance for Harry Payton. Good play by Motherwell. One side of the pitch to the other. O'Donnell cuts it back. Payton takes one touch to control. He's got the whole goal and he knocks it just wide of the target.
Well, Kenny, all that talk about Hibs, they've clearly been listening to Michael's inspiration because they have scored. They're back in the game. It's 2-1. I think it's Emiliano from the edge of the box and it fires into the top corner. Everyone else just stood still. There's people round about asking what happened. Out of nothing, Hibs have got themselves back into the game. There's a bit of noise, there's a bit of an atmosphere from the Hibs fans away to my left-hand side, and now we have a game. Come on, at 2, Hibs 1.
You're just waiting on a replay here, Leanne. The ball just cleared out of the box there. Oh my goodness, that's some goal.
Nice finish. Very nice.
You're just waiting
a better angle of it here. Oh wow.
Is it Joe Newell?
Yeah, Joe Newell, right.
Joe Newell. It's just been no one seemed to know. I'm right behind the pole, and it's hard to see who actually had the shot because nobody celebrated.
Yeah, lovely finish.
That is a very special finish. Stirling Albion 3, Kelty Hearts 0. Josh Cooper in 72 minutes. Cove Rangers 0, Queen of the South 2. Kyle Doherty with a second goal there on 65 minutes. Let's get back round the grounds in a narrow advantage. Michael Stewart for Celtic at home to Ross County. What's happening?
I mean, honestly, I think very much like some of your storylines at times, Kenny, they could be predicted. This has just been.
Oh, you're in part today, Michael.
He is, isn't he? He is.
It's been dominance from Celtic, but without really being able to punish Ross County. Ross County are still in the game at 1-0, that's for sure. And it's been a little bit slow and ponderous from the home side. They've brought on Nicholas Kuhn to obviously try and bring a bit of life to the game, but at the moment it's just been very much the same as it was in the first half.
Who is Kuhn come on for, Michael?
Good question. I think Lewis Palmer's
should really
gone
know
off.
that, Michael.
Well, that's what
you should really know that.
That's why I just told you, Lewis Palmer.
Bit of a delay.
Kenny, almost 2-2. Almost 2-2.
Yes, Stephen.
It's Maisian on the left-hand side. Lovely quick feet. Pulls it back. This time it is Emiliano that gets a shot off, and Kieran O'Hara really smart save with his right foot to clear the ball. I said in the first half that when Kilmarnock got the goal, the whole dynamic of the game has changed when it went 1-0. Now it's went 2-1. The whole dynamic has changed. The noise is coming from the away fans and the energy is coming from the away players, but it's still 2-1.
Kerry, don't get too touchy. Come on.
No, I enjoy it. I just need our reporters to be right across things. Jane Lewis is there beside you. She'll keep you right. Like, next stop, Tynecastle. What's happening, Willie?
Well, you know, as I said earlier, and it hasn't changed, Kenny, is that Hearts are very much on top of this game. 73 minutes gone. You know, they got that penalty, a well-taken penalty, you know, by George Grant, right into the top corner. And they've had another couple of opportunities, some, you know, great efforts. James Forrest looking to hit the top corner, and a magnificent save from Kel Roos. And the same again from the Aberdeen goalkeeper when Shanklin saw a little bit of light, and he went for the top corner as well, but Roos to his left hand side managed to get a good firm palm on it, put it round for the corner. But it's been all Hearts in the second half. Aberdeen are really struggling to make any inroads, to get into the opposition half at all, and the Hearts just keep piling on the pressure.
Peterhead 2, Stennismuir 1. Hamish Ritchie with a goal there in 75 minutes. George Oakley has doubled Morton's advantage over Arbroath. 2-0 there. Arbroath down to 10 men in that game. Let's then make our next stop. Rugby Park, Stephen Craigan and the Wayside right back in it.
Okay, they are, and it's amazing how football can change, or just how the momentum swings very often, and it usually turns on a goal or a big decision. And it turned on a moment of class from Joe Newell, an incredible volley right into the top corner, which was totally out of sync for how Hibs were playing. They kind of lacked momentum, they lacked pace, there was no tempo to their play, and suddenly now they're rejuvenated, they're energised, they're picking up the ball, they're taking quick throw-ins, they're taking quick free kicks, and it's the home fans who have went silent. Derek McInnes will need his players to grab hold of the game again, because it's Hibs now who are in the ascendancy and looking to get back level.
Right, let's hear from Rory Loy, Amon Vale, Livingston against Dundee. What's happening there, Rory?
Well, at this moment in time, Dundee have a corner, but Livingston, again, they've huffed and puffed, and they've done pretty well until they've got into the final third. Balls across the face of the goal, no one there to take them. Defensively, they look all over the shop at times. It was a really bad mistake from Nottingham to gift Dundee their second. I say gift, Dundee worked it really well to eventually score. And Obalai as well, who's generally pretty solid, is in possession, giving the ball away in dangerous areas. And it really does come down to 2 moments in the game where Dundee have shown better quality than Livingston. They've fashioned openings, Livingston, but when it's came to actually that final bit, they've let themselves down. And Dundee, for their ruthlessness, deservedly 2-0 up.
The game very much in the balance at McDermott Park, Alan.
Yeah, well, I'd say Motherwell with a better side in the second half. They've had more of the ball, looked live there. St Johnstone are defending. Flat back four for them now. But this is really going to go anyway, and it could be a massive 3 points for whoever. If someone gets it, it really could. St Johnstone could leapfrog Motherwell, or Motherwell could just extend that gap over St Johnstone. Just see how this one goes. It's 1-1 with about
Luke
20
McCowan,
to
red
go.
card, 2 yellows. The second yellow comes there, and it's a cynical foul. He gives the ball away and he clips the substitute, Tete Yenge, and he's going to walk for this. A little bit of inexperience. They weren't in too much danger. They were still in their own half, Livingston, but he will walk. Luke McCowan, he used straight away.
Oh yes, what a strike. Lawrence Shankland, magnificent, right foot, outside of the peg. Didn't look as though the strike was on. He just picks his spot. Kelrus, no chance. Hearts 2, Aberdeen 0.
Is that better than Miofsky's from earlier, really?
Equal to.
It is better
really. Miofsky's doesn't count.
Very diplomatic.
Tell you what, the technique's frightening. Very, very good.
Magnificent.
Can we still have the conversation? Shankland or Duke?
Yeah, and there's a red card. There is the referee over here. Kilmarnock has gone to the monitor to have a look.
Okay.
Right.
I think it's Ndaba has a tackle on Tavares in the middle of the pitch.
I'll keep an eye out for it. Yeah, I'm just seeing the referee going over to the monitor now. Craig's hopefully get a replay and come back to you. Just going to see it now. Difficult angle.
Yep. Scott Brown has gone mental. I don't know if you can hear that shout. Actually, he was away screaming at 89 on the far side of the pitch. He was jumping up and down. I could hear the shout here. If you heard it through the microphone, he's going nuts.
There's going to be a red card at Kilmarnock. He initially gave Corey Ndaba a yellow.
He catches him on the inside of the ankle. It looks to me like he actually does play the ball.
Penalty Livingston. Joel Newbley goes by Dodgson, and Dodgson dives in. Does he get a bit of the ball? He says he does. I don't think he does. I think it's the right decision. But Dundee just down to 10 men, vulnerable from winning positions, and Livingston have a penalty.
Who's taking this one?
Davy Martindale.
Don't encourage him.
It'll be interesting to see who does take it. Anderson wants it. Tete wants it. Substitute Tete Yenge. Ayo Obalai's got the ball in his hands. It looks like he's going to pull rank here.
Obalai used to hit the penalties, I'm sure, Rory.
Yeah, he did.
Last season, perhaps, or the season before.
He did. Yep.
It's that slow run-up, isn't it? And he just sides it into the like kind of Bruno Fernandes style. That's what he goes for, Obalai.
They are checking it. Did you see it, Leanne?
I've not seen a decent enough angle at it, Rory.
My initial thoughts was that the decision was correct. Obviously, I've only seen it once, but we'll wait and see. But they are checking it. So it could be a bit of a wait, Kenny, to be honest.
That's fine. Stirling Albion 4, Kelty Hearts 0. Josh Cooper on 80 minutes with that goal there. Falkirk also 4-0 up away at Alloa. Dylan Tate on 80 minutes. That red card for Kelly Corey Ndaba coming through on 73 minutes as we await a big decision there at Almond Vale. Just waiting for a decent replay to come through.
It's not a great angle that we're getting from it. Difficult actually to see who gets the contact in the ball. Moves in at a fair bit of pace, certainly, as Newbley comes inside the box.
Penalty given, and the changed penalty taker whilst that was going on, and Tete Yenge, who has been erratic to say the least since coming on, tripping over the ball and not playing particularly well, is going to take it here. He's up against Harry Sharp, having saved one penalty already.
That was magnificent.
You have to say their Premiership status hangs in the moment. In moments like this, steps up, left-footed, goal! Harry Sharp goes the right way, and he pulls it into the bottom corner though, and Dundee, it's a test of their mental resilience here, because they were 2-0 up during the week and got paid back. It's currently 2-1 with about 15 minutes to play, Kenny. Livingston 1, Dundee 2.
Quite a good penalty, wasn't it?
Good penalty, yep. The stuttered run-up as we see, but he executes it well.
Right, let's get into the championship. We heard from Chick and a furious Scott Brown there at Hampden Park. Let's get to Tannadice. The leaders Dundee United at home to Dunfermline. What's happening, Kenny Crawford?
Yeah, they just had a bit of a scare there, Dundee United, because Dunfermline on a rare counter-attack had a shot blocked by, it's Chris Hamilton's shot blocked by Ross Graham, the big defender. Same really as the first half. Dundee United dominating the possession, but just really struggling for chances. They did have one good one a little minute ago. Archie Meekison, one of the subs that had come on, was played in by a fellow sub, Alex Grieve, but left-footed, he blasted it over the bar when he was well positioned. David Witherspoon and Ross Docherty have gone off as subs.
Dundee went straight on the other end and scored. It did look like a push from Michael Mellon, I have to say, so it'll be interesting to see if this gets checked. There's no sign of that so far, but it looked like a two-handed push. He drags the ball across goal and it's tapped into the net. Not quite sure who it was. It's difficult to see from this far. It's right up the other end, but good play from Mellon if this is given. But like I said, it looked like a shove. We'll wait and see.
I think the TV in this studio might be just a bit as far away, Rory, to be honest. I would love to help you, but I'm hoping for a better replay. There's some time to score right enough just after conceding.
Nobody around me knows who scored at this moment in time.
I don't know if there's too much in it in terms of a foul, I would need to say.
No. Anyway, Dundee, you're absolutely right, Kenny. David Martindale was raging.
Yeah.
Stormed
Tom,
to the
I
edge of
don't
his
know, you're
dugout.
getting a look at that as well. What's your thoughts on it?
Oh, here we go.
Better angle here. The ball bounces, there's a bit of delay. Possibly.
Zach Robinson is the scorer as far as I can see.
If I were one of you, what I would be saying now is, what's the goalie doing, Tam? Because the goalie has come out of there in no business.
Yeah.
It's got two defenders covering the situation, and the goalkeeper sold himself totally.
It's not quite the same in that. It's not quite the same in that limit.
It's not. No.
Here's a chance for Motherwell, Kenny. As a free kick, Blair Spittle.
Goal given.
20 yards out. He has seen his terrific free kick last week. There's a two-man Motherwell wall just 2 yards in front of the St Johnstone wall, trying to block Mitov's view. It's perfectly set up for Spittle with his right foot. It really is. Can he do it 2 weeks in a row? No chance.
Right, so Zach Robinson with that goal on 79 minutes. Livingston 1, Dundee 3.
Kenny, what it says, never mind listening to Derek Adams' interview after the match. Davy Martindale's could be interesting. Getting back at 2-1, 11 v 10, and then conceding a goal like that.
Livingston close. Stephen, as you're saying that, to an equaliser, the ball comes into the box. Dundee have won a free kick in the end, but I just have to say, this is a very good game. I've enjoyed it, and I haven't always said that at the Tony Macaroni this season.
No, it's been a decent one there. Lots of goals flying in this afternoon. Let's get back into the championship. Let's get to Starks Park and hear from Derek Ferguson. Wraith Rovers against Inverness Cally Thistle. Derek.
Yeah, still sorry, Kenny. Still 3-2. Wraith try to claw this back. They're throwing everything at Inverness, but Duncan Ferguson's quite clever. He just broke it up a little bit. His players, just not cynical, just little fouls here and there. He's made a few substitutions as well, but apart from that, and this is talking about the last 5 minutes, Ken, it's just been a brilliant game to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, our game's no complicated, simple, but we've not got VAR. I'm just trying to think back in the build-up with we've had obviously 5 goals here, and I'm sure if we had VAR, they'd have picked up on something. So it's brilliant. You come and you just see a game and it doesn't go to VAR, and you just see guys going and express themselves. I'm watching a referee. We got Dan McFarlane today. He's done ever so well. It's just a good game of football. You see, most times you go to watch your championship and you wonder if that's partly down to that we don't have VAR. But at the moment, and talking about Wraith, they brought on Zach Rudden, obviously came in loan from Dundee. Obviously Dylan Easton's on the park as well, so they're throwing everything at Inverness Cally, but they're standing strong at the moment. We've got 5 minutes to go and minimal added time on.
Anyone see that clip of Derek getting a question, a suggestion? Do you see that one, Leanne? A suggestion from Faddy during the week?
I caught a glimpse of it, I did.
Silence, Derek. What was Faddy suggesting?
Listen, I'm not a spokesman for Lewis or anything. It's his decision, and it's always been since he went to Aberdeen. So I'm just there to back him up.
What was the suggestion?
About going to Celtic Football Club.
Fergie's next one on Google. Fergie's next one on Google is how did I disown my son?
It was a brilliant clip, I have to say. Really enjoyed that.
We have a bit of fun, as you know, Kenny. And that's what it's all about.
That's what it was. Certainly was. It was good fun. Good banter. Airdrie against Partick Thistle. Kasim Sheikh is there for us. What's happening, Kasim?
Still 1-1 here. Not really too much to report. There hasn't really been anything happening in front of goal. I think it's still Airdrie have only had one. Oh, but he's through. Can't make out the number. No, another. I think if I've got anything to feed back on today, it's just been this. In front of goal, there hasn't really been much quality. I mean, there's been some really good football played, and particularly by Partick in the second half. We've put a lot of pressure on Airdrie down the right-hand side. But
is that big drum putting you off?
That drum has got my head bouncing. That's it. I can definitely report on that.
Do you know where I stay? I live in Larkhall, so there's always a big drum. I've got a nightmare.
Middle of the year's really busy.
We're going into the last 2 minutes here. Still 1-1 as things stand.
Falkirk are cruising 5-0 up away at Alloa. Ryan Shanley with the latest goal there on 89 minutes.
Just having a laugh, Kenny.
It's all good fun. Let's get back to Michael Stewart. Michael, what's happening at Celtic Park?
Not a great deal. It's almost just like both teams are just playing it out, expecting the result to be what it is at the moment. 1-0 to Celtic. It's not been a particularly great game of football, to be perfectly honest. It's still 1-0 to the home side.
Michael, watching the game, Celtic dominating possession, but their delivery, when they're asked to kind of play a pass.
Oh, it's 2-2. Oh, what a goal. I've got to say, Maizian, I haven't watched him play before, but since he came onto the game, he has been absolutely brilliant. He's been the standout player. He's took the ball in, he's been aggressive, he's got at his opponent. It's him that gets the equaliser. Joe Newell's goal was a wonderful individual strike. This is a long ball forward. He's facing his own goal, back to goal with regards the goalkeeper. He spins onto his right foot and just clips it lovely past Kieran O'Hara into the top left-hand corner. All the momentum is with Hibs now. If they don't go on and win this game, they'll be hugely disappointed. But what a goal by Maizian. 2-2.
That's a big goal, isn't it, for Hibs, for Nick Montgomery. Mikey, back to you. I'm just looking at Celtic. Their build-up play fine. Their delivery, their final ball is being atrocious.
It's not been particularly great. I mean, look, I said it after about 20 minutes of the game that they have not had a lot of penetration in the Abada was on against Bucky Thistle, and I thought he showed that really well. As I said, obviously it's against Highland League opposition, but they showed good penetration in the game.
Oh, he's a chance for Ayr to finish it.
They've not done that today.
He's missed. How on earth did he miss that? Clean through. Aidan McGeady it was.
Oh, good save. Oh, Livingston. Oh, sorry, check. That's an unbelievable chance for Livingston to get back into it.
Oh, here's a chance for Motherwell to win it. Goes round the keeper. Oh, it's gone too wide. Oh, what a chance that was. Good play. It's painting onto it. It goes round the keeper, but he's knocked his touch too wide. Can't recover. Corner.
Big opportunity for Raith Rovers there. Ball just squared back to Lewis Vaughan, and normally he's only, 15 yards out. Just leaning back a little bit. I think he's trying to find the top corner there. I think he'd be better advised just to try and hit the target with a little bit of power, but a big chance that Raith have passed up.
What a chance that was for Aidan McGeady. Clean through, took the ball. There was a slip at the back with Queen's Park. McGeady's all on his own, all the time in the world. Keeper comes out and he just tried to lob it over the goalkeeper. He put too much on it and it went over the crossbar and landed in the roof of the net as well. That would have tied it up. We're into time added on here, Kenny, and it's Queen's 1, United 2.
Montrose have equalised away at Hamilton Accies. Luke Graham on 84 minutes, 1 apiece there. Willie Miller, it sounds like a really disappointing second half performance from the Dons.
Yeah, it is. They haven't been in it in the second half. It's been completely dominated by the home side, and they've managed to get the 2 goals as well, but they've had other opportunities as well. Kenny Shanklin and Forrest and Vargas just recently there just was one by the post. It's been really good football from them. It's been energetic. It's been forward thinking. Most of the passing has been forward passing rather than square, sideways or back the way. So as far as the fans are concerned, they've been treated
Game over.
They've been treated
4-1 Dundee. Sorry, Willie, has been a goal, and it's Michael Mellon, the substitute. Son of Mickey, he scores with his. Oh, the flags now went up. Literally, the ball was in the net about 10 seconds ago, and the flags now went up. So I assume it'll be checked. Tony Docherty doesn't know what's going on. I don't know what the delay was, but it was a good finish by Mellon, and I've no idea why the goal's been ruled out. Well, it's been offside, but no idea what took him so long.
Is there a player standing in front of the goalkeeper again, Rory? Is it going to be because the strike comes from outside the box? Am I right in saying?
Quite possibly, but the distance between Mellon and the nearest defender is too far.
Just getting a look at it just now. It was very, very tight. Is it Robinson perhaps? It was centrally. I think we've seen one like this earlier in the season.
Yes,
as
which
well.
In this fixture, this exact fixture.
I think it was. Yep, you're right.
It was Bakayoko that scored it, and it was one of the ones that the referees come out and said was incorrect. So, it looked perfectly good to me, the goal.
Willie.
Alan, yes, Alan.
Be careful in Aberdeen tonight, pal. Here it's -19.
You're referring to the goal difference between the two clubs.
After you, my friend.
Full-time score: Ann Athletic 3, Edinburgh City 0, Alloa 0, Falkirk 5. That's also a full-time score line. And 91st minute goal for Stirling Albion. Josh Cooper has made it Stirling Albion 5, Kelty Hearts 0. Are we still waiting there,
Yeah,
Rory?
I think the checks.
Yes, we are.
It is really tight, Rory. Robinson does everything he can to get out the way.
When you say tight, you mean
in terms
not
of
the pass, the shot?
Yeah, no, if he's deemed to be interfering with play in an offside position, I can only assume that's why it's been disallowed. So the ball comes kind of through the bodies and Robinson's just moving out of the line of the shot.
Kenny, just to come back,
and it's a marginal offside.
Yes, Michael.
Ross County are pushing a wee bit here. They're in. It's a corner kick. Yeah, there's not much happened in this game, but as long as it sits at 1-0, the last couple of minutes, Ross County have just started to make a few forays into the Celtic's box. They've got a corner kick here as well.
Any reaction, Michael, from the home fans?
Full time at Salazar, Airdrie 1, Partick Thistle 1.
Thanks, Cassin. Michael?
Paulo Bernardo's gone off and David Turnbull's come on. That's about the most noise that came from the...
Hampden, and it's a victory for Scott Brown, his first game in charge at United. He shakes hands with Callum Davidson. Jamie Murphy, Payton with the equaliser at Queen's Park, Mark McKenzie with the header, the winner, and the big Ayr United travelling support away to my right celebrate. Nearly 2,000 inside Hampden this afternoon.
Yeah, one of them will be in the programme later. Yes,
he's coming to the screen to have a look at the referee now, so it's obviously not a factual decision. They want his opinion on something.
That's whether he thinks he's interfering with play.
So over Kenny, Rafe Rovers 2, Inverness Cali Thistle 3.
Because he jumps to avoid the ball, isn't he?
Yeah, but I just think the distances, I do understand that Michael McGovern's vision...
Incredibly tight, unbelievably tight.
It must be onside or he wouldn't bring him to the screen. If it was offside, I assume they're saying it's onside.
No, because if he's offside, it's whether he's interfering with play or not.
No, so they must have deemed he's onside, so he needs to come to the screen. The referee needs to decide.
It can still be offside because he's not touched the ball. So he can be in an offside position but not interfering with play, or it's going to be deemed he's in an offside position and is interfering with play.
Right, we'll wait and see what he says anyway. But I mean, this is all together went on for quite a long time.
Again, it's the old offside.
Oh, Ross County! Joss! Oh my word! Sims was running through on the right hand side. He was getting chased by about 3 Celtic players. He nudged it into John White's path. He managed to get the shot off. There wasn't a great deal of power, but Joe Hart was having to stretch to get to it. He's knocked it into the path of the on-rushing Ross County player, but he's able to get on and smother it. Big chance.
Right, so that's Michael Mellon with the goal. It seemed a long time ago. Michael Mellon with the goal, 87 minutes.
A big chance here at Rugby Park, Kenny. The away team should be ahead. Great cross from Paul Hannon from the left-hand side. Christian Dodge, of course, who was on loan from Hibs last season to Kilmarnock. Free header 8 yards out, and it just drifted wide. Big let off for the home team. Still 2-2.
Right, okay.
What's the Celtic Park atmosphere like, Mikey?
Well, it's just rumbling along a little bit, but I mean, they're getting a wee bit annoyed because it's been slack, it's been poor. It's not been great, fair at all. And as I said, the last couple of minutes, you can just sense that Ross County are coming in a little bit. And that one there, where they're attacking, they're getting through the gaps in Celtic's defence, is just probably making them a wee bit nervous that Celtic are not as comfortable as they thought they should be. As I say that, into the box, David Turnbull, he can't get on the end of it. Just too many performers that have not really been up to scratch. Paulo Bernardo went off. Got to be honest, a lot's been made about how settling in, looking really good. Doesn't do enough for me. It doesn't do enough. He doesn't look like he's athletic. Doesn't get involved in the game a lot. Scored a few goals recently, but I'm not seeing it.
Brilliant chance for Dundee United to win it at the death. Archie Mikason, a curling shot from outside the box. Brilliant save by Dennis Mehmet. It looks like it's going to be 0-0. We're into added time, but such a good chance by Mickelson. Dundee United 0, Dunfermline 0.
You'll see that as a missed opportunity, certainly with a defeat for Wraith Rovers today. Full-time score 4-0. Bonnyrigg Rose, and as Chick was telling us, Queen's Park 1, Ayr United 2. What a start for Scott Brown there in his managerial career in Scotland. That is for sure. Stranraer 0, East Fife 1, and that is you up to date with the latest. Also just coming through full-time, Morton 3, Arbroath 0. Arbroath were down to 10 men for long periods of that game. So
Kenny, the game's over here at Almondvale, but there's 9 minutes added on just out of interest for the stoppages in this game.
My goodness.
Or this half even.
Yeah, it's been incredible. That one for that goal there took a long time, but as long as you get the right decision. Full-time Peterhead 2. The leader Stennismuir beaten at last after that record-breaking run that they have been on, but they are well clear at the top of the table in League 2. So let's get back to Stephen Craig and what's happening in Rugby Park, Stephen.
Well, look, at 5 minutes just gone up on the board, and it's the Hibs fans who made the noise because they believe the game is here for the taking for them. They looked dead and buried. They were out of it. Kilmarnock were dominant, and then suddenly that moment of brilliance from Joe Newell, it's just turned the game in its head. The sending off of Corey Ndaba just added to it. The great goal from Isiana, and now really,
oh, he's a chance!
The home side are under pressure.
Oh my word, Josh Sims has just stuck it over the crossbar. It was a free kick to the back post. Jordan White knocks it down, and it's one of those you're thinking Sims is going to get there. Is there a defender going to clip him? But they didn't. He got the touch, he turned, and he just flicked it over the crossbar.
Full time, Tynecastle 2-0 Hearts.
Thanks to Willie Miller. Miovski had that goal chopped off in 25 minutes, but a second half double. George Grant from the penalty spot in 57 minutes. Lawrence Shanklin a screamer on 77 minutes. The pressure increases on the Aberdeen manager. Barry Robs will have a Dons fan for you on the phone just after 5:30. Lots of fan reaction tonight. Another chance.
Oh, it was another brilliant chance for United to win it right at the death, but it's wide. It was brilliantly played into Louis Moult, and it was just across the face of goal, and someone coming in at the back post just couldn't add the finishing touch. It stays 0-0, still in added time.
Full time at Celtic Park, 1-0.
1-0. So Alistair Johnson with that goal in the first minute. If someone had told you then that would be the only goal of the game, you just would not have believed it.
A lucky deflected goal.
Yeah.
Incredible, really. That's a really poor performance. Listen, it's important 3 points, but it's a really substandard performance at home against a poor team who, to be fair, as Michael was pointing out there, had a couple of chances laid on and a growing belief all the while.
Full time at McDermott. Johnson 1, Motherwell 1.
Thanks, Al.
Tell you what we might get, Kenny, is a positive post-match reaction from Derek Adams.
Aye, and he might tell us everything's been saying has worked because the players are right behind him, and that's potentially the best performance in the last few weeks.
Has he, to quote, got a reaction?
Well, you look at the new players that he's brought in as well. Yeah. They look as if they've made a bit of a difference. Mikey might tell us differently, but they certainly looked pretty organised. They had a go in the second half. They've had a couple of chances, perhaps could have grabbed a goal. I think Derek Adams will be fairly pleased, especially considering he conceded the goal as early on as his side did.
Right, full time at Tannadice, Kenny. Dundee United 0, Dunfermline 0. So United move a point clear at the top of the championship, but far from convincing. 0-0.
Yeah, thanks to Kenny Crawford there. So goalless elsewhere in the championship. Airdrie 1, Partick Thistle 1, Dundee United 0, Dunfermline 0, Morton 3. My goodness, Dougie Emery's doing some job down there. He just signed an extended contract this week. Morton 3, Arbroath 0, Queen's Park 1, Ayr United 2. A winning start for Ayr United manager Scott Brown, and Wraith Rovers 2, Inverness Cally Thistle 3. A hat-trick there from Alex Samuel. What, within 9 minutes, 31, 36 and 40 minutes, that after Jack Hamilton had given Rovers the lead there on 25 minutes. So still playing at Rugby Park, still playing at Almondvale. We'll concentrate on Rugby Park, Stephen, because that game very much in the balance.
Well, Kilmarnock have a free kick about 25 yards from goal. It's just nudged to Liam Donnelly, has a strike into the wall, but it's been a breathtaking second half. It really has been. Both sides have went for it. Hibs needed to get a goal to get back into it. They did. Kilmarnock have had to hang on a little bit. They're down to 10 men, but they are fighting their corner, and they're still trying to find a way to win this game themselves. It's been a really good spectacle for the Scottish Premiership this afternoon, I have to say that.
Might be wrong, Kenny, but I think Nick Montgomery's first game in charge was a 2-2.
It was a 2-2
down at Rugby Park, but it was the reverse. I think they were 2-0 up and got brought back.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it could be a big deal. We're not saying he's under pressure, but what we're saying is, is he getting enough out of that team? And he did cite a lot of injury issues in his post-match interview following the defeat by Rangers on Wednesday evenings. In terms of Livingston, Rory, obviously they're not going to do anything today, but looking at the season, can you see any way back for them? They're adrift at the bottom of the table.
Again, Kenny, I don't think they've played particularly badly today. I've seen them play worse this season, but just no cutting edge at all. And I mean, defensively, I mean, they're 2-0 down, they score a goal, Luke McCowan gets sent off. They've conceded 2 goals with a man advantage, which shouldn't happen. So, it's not looking good at all. They're 6 points behind Ross County, even further away from automatic safety. I would have to say, Joel Newbley, if he goes, I mean, he was on the bench today, he's come on and been their best player by a mile. I don't know where that Joel Newbley's been all season. I know he's played wing back for a spell and that's not suited him, but he's gave Dodgson a really tough time since he's come on, obviously won the penalty, so it's just something not quite right at Livingston, I would suggest, and I think there's a long way back now. I cannot see them gathering enough points to get back into the automatic safety positions. I think it's at the very best going to be a playoff.
Yeah, they're 6 points behind Ross County, and Ross County have 2 games in hand. They're 9 points adrift of St Johnstone and Motherwell. They drew 1 apiece at McDermott Park this afternoon, so still playing, still a chance for a late winner down there at Rugby Park, Stephen.
Well, I hope so, because it's probably the only thing the game is lacking. Both teams have really had a go at it. Nick Montgomery made his substitutions, he gambled a little bit, and I've got to say, Maizian, I'm not too sure how it's pronounced, but he looks a really impressive player. I think he's on loan from Hertha Berlin. And you can just see that he's really comfortable in the ball. He wants to hurt defenders, he wants to get at people. And probably something we've all battered on about often enough this season, there's not enough flair in the top flight of Scottish football. There's not enough creative players. Well, he certainly looks a creative player, and if he can stay fit, full-time whistle. If he stays fit, then he will certainly be a huge asset. But full-time, Rugby Park 2-2.
Yeah, a really good game down there. Kilmarnock went 2-0 up in that game. Dylan Venti own goal on 24 minutes, and Matty Kennedy with the second goal on 54. Corian Daba sent off in 73 minutes. Joe Newell got Hibs back in. A fantastic strike on 66 minutes. Also a really good finish from Maiziana on 81 minutes there. So Kilmarnock 2, Hibs 2. St Johnstone 1, Motherwell 1. Ryan McGowan in 3 minutes for the home side. Theo Blair on 29 minutes with the equaliser there. Hearts 2, Aberdeen 0. George Grant in the penalty spot, 57 minutes. Lawrence Shanklin, an absolute screamer on 77 minutes. How much pressure is Barry Robson under now? The Aberdeen manager. Certain Aberdeen fans I see in social media not at all happy that he is still in charge of the club. Can he turn things around? It's a very good squad. There's been great investment there at that football club. So far that's not reflected in terms of their performance. Celtic a very narrow victory over Ross County this afternoon. Alistair Johnson in the first minute there. Palmer had a penalty saved, and also his
Kenny, Livingston 1, Dundee 4.
Thank you to Rory Loy there. So a convincing win for Tony Docherty's side after that midweek disappointment. 2-0 up they were at Tynecastle, but Hearts fought back to win that one by 3 goals to 2. So all the reaction to come. We'll get reports from around the grounds. We'll hear from some managers, and from around 5:30 we'll get fan reaction to some big results in Scottish football this afternoon. That all to come right after the BBC Radio Scotland news at 5:02. On digital